What is going on, everybody? It is episode 545 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here once again with my co-host. Would you introduce yourself, please?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. Happy Friday. We are so close to 100,000 subscribers right now. It's killing me inside.
We just hit 99.9.
Yeah.
99.9.
Wait, really? Just seconds ago? Because I haven't refreshed the page.
Hit update. You should be good. 99.9.
Yep, we're at 99.9 thousand.
Do it!
If you haven't subscribed, like, what are you even doing?
Seriously.
Also, we have a dynamic duo of guests on the show today. Firstly, Libby Emmons. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, Mary? Brett, glad to be here.
Good.
Yes.
Yes.
And a returning guest all the way back from 2022, Shane Cashman.
Yeah, you unfroze me.
Yeah. We got you out of the cryogenic freezer.
Thank you.
How you feeling after being thawed out?
Yeah, what year is it? No, it feels good to be here, guys.
Well, actually, we were up here not that long ago because you had a conversation with Colonel Kurtz on your channel that we did in the studio not that long ago. So we got a little bit of warm up in.
Yeah.
Before we get back.
You know, I used to sleep in the studio before it was. Like
yeah.
I wrote the first Inverted World book here, and they offered me a hotel, but I was like, I'll just sleep on the beanbag in the corner.
I am so glad we got rid of that.
Mary was against the beanbags right from the start.
It was disgusting.
They are kind of gross.
Oh, thanks. You could probably smell me from like a summer
other people,
of living.
probably Seamus.
I had to kick Seamus out, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I'm sorry, if both you and Seamus sweat on that thing, I want it out of here.
Two disgusting
really
Irishmen.
That's
Yeah. Fair
and it's
enough.
the size of like 5 people.
Yeah, we burned it outside, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened to the beanbag? It was a bonfire?
I would have liked to. I don't know what happened to it.
I think that would be toxic.
I think they got rid of some of them, and then a couple of them are still around down there.
Yeah.
But there was like 3 of the really, really big beanbags.
There's such obstructions.
That was the real problem. It's like basically like I would be like running from room to room, and you just trip on them.
Oh, we got $20 from DCNC. Quick, everyone unsubscribe.
No! Stop it!
Oh,
and we have another
so
one
cruel.
from Fresh Meat. Here's some money to start the show off. Just got off a cruise last week and came away from it with COVID. Ooh. Happy Monday, Brett. Happy Friday, Mary, Libby, and Shane.
Stop
Happy
gaslighting
Friday.
me. Also, I will point out that one of my new favorite, like I go through really, really ADHD trends on YouTube Shorts. I watch almost no long form content anymore. The internet has destroyed my brain and my ability to focus.
We got to fix that.
One of my new ones is it's like people who do day in the life of like people who live on cruise ships, who like work as like singers or band members, or they have like jobs on cruise ships. Like, this is what the employee cabins look like. And I'm like watching this. I'm like, this has literally zero bearing in my life. I will never go on a cruise.
Okay, we've got another $20.
I hate the whole concept.
I hate to interrupt everyone. These bitches want Nikes. Said so satisfying to see Vaush get caught red-handed with horse lolly shit on his computer a few days ago. Made my week. Wondering y'all's thoughts on it. Love y'all.
He got caught in the most internet way where it's
I
like
don't
it's
even
just
know.
I never heard about this.
It's just a
let's pull
tab
it up.
is open.
Okay, we also got $100 super chat from Violet Brandani. Thank you. She said dirty money in your face. She's saying that because she's on OnlyFans.
There you go.
I met her when I was on whatever. Thank you for
Thank you, Violet.
the super
That's
chat.
awesome. She's
Thank you
watching,
for the party.
you guys made friends on whatever?
I don't think we made friends, but if she wants to think that, that's fine.
So we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, guys. Remember, all super chats $20 and over, as you just saw.
Dude. Wow.
We will interrupt the discussion. We will read them right then and there, and then we will do our very best to get back on topic. Remember when I was just talking about my shortened attention span? That is the hardest part of this job for me.
What if we hit 100K live?
That would be
on
really
air?
fun.
Oh,
That would
yes.
be,
I'm going to post about it.
that would be good. But so we'll interrupt the discussion. We do have to cap today's show at 5, guys. But on Monday, we'll be doing a 100,000 subscriber live stream. We'll be going live at 1 p.m. rather than at 3. And we're going 1 to 5 p.m. to celebrate hitting 100,000 subscribers. So thank you in advance for subscribing to this channel.
I can already tell,
I just subscribed. I didn't realize I hadn't subscribed.
Cutting it
No,
at
yeah.
5 is going to be difficult today.
Yes, we got to do our best,
already-
guys. I apologize, but
Oh.
we do.
People's Joker is definitely on the docket today, so make sure you have that pulled up. No one has requested
it
yet, but make sure you have it.
Libby has seen it, but Shane has not. So, guys, what do we got to talk about today? Well, Jonathan Majors has been accused by 2 more women, and he hasn't even been sentenced yet for his first crime that he was convicted of. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to get into the details. His sentencing for his first offense was actually pushed until April. So we'll talk about it. We're going to talk about M.I.A. and Jay-Z and occult stuff and all sorts of... So Mary was sending me the links to all this stuff, and I was just like, can we even get into all of this because it's so damn convoluted? If you don't know who M.I.A. is,
if it's
she's a rapper.
Conspiratorial, if it has to do with occult, if it's convoluted, I felt like that was Shane-friendly content.
That definitely sounds about right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we're gonna talk about that. We're also gonna talk about the dystopian nightmare that is Apple Vision Pro goggles, which I've enjoyed these videos. I feel like it's going to become its own subcategory, similar to like the people who fall into the water while on their phones.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into that. We're also gonna talk.
Okay, we've got a request for the People's Joker from Tech.
Here we
Thank
go.
you.
Mary, can you talk for a second? I gotta pull it up.
I'm talking.
Yeah, you're talking. Keep talking.
Well,
This is awesome.
Did we show it to you, Libby?
No, I didn't see it.
I think Libby has seen it. I'm not
What's
sure.
about to happen?
Here we
Okay,
go.
well then this is going to be new
Something
for both
about
of
to
you.
pop out of the ceiling?
Remember the rules. $20 stops it. $100 or no, $100. What is it? $100 starts it. Stops it.
No, $20 to
Start it.
to stop it.
No, $20. $100 to stop it. $200 to play it the whole way through.
I thought it was $20 to stop the video and then $100 to start it again.
Yes.
And $200 to play it all the way through.
Correct. Okay, yeah. So $100 to start it again, $200 to play it all the way
Oh,
through.
wait, I have seen
Yes.
this.
Okay,
Did I just
Shane.
snort Adderall? Like, what is going
Here we
on?
go.
right now?
Yeah,
True. 3
basically.
months ago, comedian Brie LaRose dared me to re-edit Todd Phillips' Joker. Now, I'm an Emmy-nominated editor who works primarily with Tim and Eric, so I could give you your standard alt-comedy
seen
Joker
this.
remix
It's
with fart sound effects and rhythmic cuts over nightmare drones, and you'd gobble it up, wouldn't you, you little piggy? But I'm currently unemployed and stupidly ambitious. So for the past 3 months, I've been writing a feature-length screenplay called The People's Joker. Utilizing clips from the 2019 Oscar contender, footage from other iterations of Joker's past, and just movies that feature clowns, as well as additional footage that I'll be shooting in the privacy of my own bedroom, I'm creating an entirely new feature film. You heard me right, this is my feature film acting debut, and I will be portraying both Harley Quinn and the Joker. Using these characters, which I definitely don't own the rights to, I will be sharing the story of my transition and how I overcame mental illness and the cycle of abuse that I was stuck in.
You guys can stop this at any time.
Coming of age story.
Okay.
Only
All right.
It takes place in the Batman universe.
I feel like we should skip
That's
ahead
not
because I've
all.
already
I'm
seen
a
this
huge
part.
fan of Suicide Squad, so The People's Joker will not only be the first film to feature a trans woman playing the Joker, it will also prominently feature
Hey.
Jared Leto's seminal portrayal
Oh,
of
yeah.
the clown prince of crime.
True.
And no, I don't have his
Totally
permission
true.
to use his likeness. I plan on using deepfakes, but the way I see it, this can be his way of apologizing to the trans community for Dallas Buyers Club.
love
Plus,
Dallas
Jared,
It was a great movie.
Look,
I never
everybody
saw
knows
that.
how
Oh, it's
pissed
good.
Todd didn't cast you in his Joker. Don't sue me, be in mine. And you know what? I misspoke. This isn't just my Joker. This is our Joker. That's right.
That's
I'm
nice.
opening up the creative process to any and all quarantined artists, musicians, filmmakers, or actors who want to contribute to my vision. Do you want to design
this
this
is gi-
film's Gotham City?
This is giving my soul restless leg syndrome. You know that feeling?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how to get out of this.
By Bronxy Beat that'll be
I hope
playing
someone
for a Wolf
saves
of Wall
me.
Street style montage about the drug use that I was engaging in my early 20s to
Chad
numb my
is starting
gender
to like
dysphoria.
it. We've beaten them down.
Great.
Peoplesjoker.com.
They love
This
it
is
now.
like the scene in Clockwork Orange where they hold the guy's eyes open,
Right.
forcing him to watch this.
Copyright infringement.
I feel
There's
sick.
a Star Trek episode like that with Geordie
All
LaForge.
right, stop it.
I haven't seen that one. That's awesome.
You got it.
Evan Perry said, "Stop this, or I unsubscribe." We don't want you to do
I don't
that.
want you to
God bless that person.
Okay, we
Thank
missed
you.
some $20.
Yes, go ahead.
Dreamcast Night also requested People's Joker. I'm glad you got what you wanted. Joe Sniffinator Biden said, "I just realized that my bloodline family heritage ends with me since I won't have children. So please, men, don't be me. It's kind of pathetic."
Okay.
Well, you still have time to change that
Yep.
if you want. Evil Me said, "You said horse lolly on my YouTube app instantly crashed. For the lulz, what's y'all's option or such materials?" What?
The
Wait, I'd never heard about anything that was happening with Vosh.
bestiality stuff.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
I saw people talking about it. I was just like, yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yep.
Makes
Okay.
sense. Adds up.
Also, just close your tabs, guys.
It's kind of like there's
This is on
Alex
stream.
Jones.
there's like a whole but there's also like a whole thing of like college professors who got like male college professors who they attach their laptop to an HDMI and they get caught with tabs.
Bruh.
Wasn't there a CNN guy?
Yeah,
Who,
yep.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that.
A Jeffrey Toobin moment.
Yep.
Yeah, Jeffrey Toobin. That's the guy. That's his name.
And I didn't
Forgot
get to
about
tell you
that
guys
guy.
what the last topic is today. So, if you guys remember, last week we talked about an app called Dignify. It's a brave new world where 4chan trolls are putting clothes on 304s.
Oh, all those girls look so much better after.
So, but here's the thing. We found an article about a
agree.
woman who said a woman found out that she had been reclothed, and now she says she's taking back her power by saying, "Nay, you will not reclothe me. I will be naked."
Well, the more naked pictures she puts out, the more she can be reclothed.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we're gonna talk about that.
Can we make
Just adding fuel
Can we
to
make
the fire.
a real-time filter for the whatever podcast for those
Ooh.
ladies?
Oh, that would be good.
Because I feel like that
I think
podcast
it
has
would
become
hurt
a
his
weird
revenue.
genre of porn for
Just
conservative
remember,
men.
I have no problem
for sure.
It's weird.
with the ladies not doing the clothes. We got into a whole discussion about whether we thought it was fetishistic to put clothes back on women. And I will say that when we get to this topic, what they did to her is they did this lady dirty. They made her really, really ugly.
I don't think that they used Dignify to do it. I think it was
Just
Photoshop or something else.
So it's just really, really funny. We're going to talk about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. So if you guys are ready, we'll get right into it since we started off unbelievably hectic today. Shane, are you ready?
So ready.
Mary.
Let's go.
Libby.
All set.
Let's go ahead and get started then.
Okay.
All right. Before anything happens, if you guys remember, about 10 years ago today, in fact, something very tragic happened for the internet. And that was, do you remember the game Flappy Bird? Anybody here? Flappy Bird.
I remember. I played it.
Side-scrolling game, kind of like a Mario, and the guy who made the game took it off the internet because people were telling him it was addictive, and he
Didn't somebody
pulled it from
kill
the App Store.
themselves over Flappy Bird?
And yes,
No.
or no, I don't know if that's true, but what
I
was
feel
happening
like
was
I remember that.
like people were air gapping
funny.
phones, right? Phones that had it on there.
Yes.
And they were selling them for like
Right.
thousands of dollars.
Yep.
That's
Well,
insane.
today is the 10th anniversary of when it was officially pulled off the App
Wow.
Store.
The guy is like super emo about it in his post. This was in 2014. I'm sorry, Flappy Bird users. 22 hours from now, I will take Flappy Bird down. I can't take this
We got
anymore.
a $200 one from Trudy Jones. He says,
Oh.
keep going.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. You gotta finish it.
A story using two of my favorite
It's almost the end anyway, so here we go.
Yep.
characters of all time and connect with other artists who are sad and broken.
This
because
is a
of this
betrayal of that
pandemic.
person who
by the
threw
way,
money in
if you're
to
a
make it
distributor
stop.
who has any ideas on how to release an incredibly illegal film, please get in touch with
So,
me. I really want to premiere
is there gonna
this
be a
thing
full-length
on July
thing?
4th, our
done.
failed nation's birthday. Because,
you
well,
gonna play
I know
that
I'm not
next?
the first person to say this,
We're gonna
but
review
this
it.
country needs an enema, and the People's Joker is the very rectal bulb syringe that can do the job. So visit thepeoplesjoker.com today.
Yep.
Wait, are we allowed to talk over this when it happens?
We got
or is that disrespectful to the
$20.
Doesn't
audience?
we don't get,
$20 from Corey Anderson. Something tells me this dude is still using drugs.
Who is
Me.
Who is him? Who's he talking
Or that
about?
person.
Yeah.
The People's Joker.
Is that what they think that is?
Yes.
It could be. I have no idea. So Flappy Bird, guys, was pulled off 10 years ago.
Oh, we have
today.
another one from Joe Sniffinator Biden. I have had my heart broken so many times. I feel like it's broken one more time. I'm going full woman hater, and I don't want to be
Don't
that.
do that, my friend.
Don't do it.
There's always hope.
Well, if you don't want to be a woman hater, then don't. You know?
Don't hate
agree.
women.
So it's not.
So
just
this guy
that-
felt so much guilt over the fact that people were addicted to his game that he took it down.
A lot of people believe that wasn't true. They believe that secretly Nintendo was going to file on him, but Nintendo denies
Brett,
that.
that's not the secret. The secret is that it was a CIA asset.
Very possible.
And they injected this into the population to get people addicted, and then they took it away on purpose to get people more addicted.
It's
and then,
always a conspiracy with you.
They left
you invited me
Angry
here
Birds?
to talk about conspiracies, and I'm going to
Okay.
get into it.
Okay.
Flappy Bird was a conspiracy theory.
It's very possible. But there's actual good news here today. We've actually got some white pills going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you guys.
This is not going to be a very
No way we end at 5 today.
organized show.
It's going to be very disorganized today, guys. We're going to do it. All right. So Sound of Freedom Studio, the studio that released Sound of Freedom, Angel Studios, has a new movie coming out, and it's starring and being produced by Letitia Wright, who played Shuri in Black Panther.
That's a big deal.
It
That's a
is.
big deal.
And the movie is called Possum Trot, which is executive produced by Wright for Company 316 Productions, and it's based on the true story of Bishop Martin and First Lady Donna Martin and their small Bennett Chapel church in the town of Possum Trot, East Texas. It tells the story of 22 families that adopted 77 7 of the most difficult to place children in the local foster care system, which sparked a national...
I'm not sure about the title.
You don't like the...
I don't like
I don't like it either.
Possum Trot? I think
It's very art house.
It's an interesting
What are they
town
going to call
name.
it?
Interesting town name.
What are they going to call the
Possum
movie?
Trot.
What are they going to call the movie?
I don't know.
Adoption, the movie. Like... Or
Sound of Freedom 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
I don't know. What if I said I don't like Joyless Kingdom?
I'd be like, good.
But that's the type of name they would give something like this. If it didn't have
Possum Trot just makes me think of like it's like a cousin of the skunk from Looney Tunes or whatever, you know?
Maybe that's going to be a secret character in there. All I'm saying
I
is
mean,
like,
even if they called it Bennett Chapel, that would have been better than Possum Trot.
Right.
religion, I mean, that will turn people, I think that might actually turn people
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I don't think that would help with their, like, this will be labeled a faith-based film, and
Right.
it will get buried. So giving it any type of religious title will hurt it.
And Letitia
That's
Wright
ridiculous,
is
though.
Christian, right?
Yes,
and
correct.
also
Yeah.
she got raked over the coals for her vaccine skepticism.
Yep.
So maybe she's not getting roles or projects
I mean, she's
from
still Shuri, and
mainstream
they're still going to
Hollywood.
be doing. They're still going to be doing Black Panther stuff. But it's not just that, ladies and gentlemen. We have more good news because Christian Bale is in the news. He's breaking ground on a 16-year passion project. He's building 12 foster homes.
That's crazy.
That's aimed at the job of keeping children like brothers and sisters together in the foster
Oh, that's
system.
a good idea because that is really damaging
Yeah.
for
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
So
They
it
all
says-
have to be named Robin, though.
All of them,
a
every
bad-
single one.
sorry for the bad
That's
name
the
joke.
only thing that happens is when you come into these foster homes,
Yes.
your name changes to Robin.
It says the project
around.
is a first of its kind in California and is costing an estimated $22 million and expected to be completed by 2025. It's located next to McAdam Park on 30th Street in Palmdale City. So that's a really big deal. I mean, we talk a lot about how annoying online slacktivist Hollywood celebrities are. I'd rather see a celebrity actually put their money where their mouth is.
We've got
Do something
$20
about it.
from Philip Reed. I've come to the sad realization that I will never do anything cool enough to warrant the playing of the Free Bird solo. Sad face.
Do you ever like imagine what your life if they made a movie about you, what the song would be in the trailer for your
Oh,
life?
dude, the soundtrack to my movie's so dope.
What would it be?
It's. I
What would
mean,
it be?
there's Kanye songs. There's black metal. There's like Alice in Chains.
It would be very
obviously.
eclectic.
Yeah, it's just the best.
I
And then
feel
my
like
own
mine
songs.
would just be like Cocteau Twins, Belle and Sebastian,
There you
Galaxy
go.
500, and the Smiths. And
Bjork. Any Bjork? Are you a
No,
Bjork
not
fan?
not in
Oh,
my not
yeah.
in my movie.
Okay. Not
Mary?
in my. That's a good title for something.
Probably 303.
That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect.
Wait,
Yeah.
did Brett say yours?
Old school rap.
Nice, like Wu Tang
Bone Thugs, Tupac.
Bone Thugs.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mac Dre.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff like from that
I like
generation.
it. I like it.
Does anybody here know who Bobby Altoff is?
No.
Do you
No.
know? Okay, so Bobby Altoff is a podcaster.
You talked about her before, actually.
Yeah.
I
She was
actually-
the one who
yes.
started getting all of these podcast appearances with these big rappers.
I do know her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
a $20 one here from DCNC says, "We just made 100K. Let's go, psych."
Oh, that's messed
why are you
up.
gaslighting
That's
us?
why I read it in the sad voice because I read the psych
Bruh.
part first, so I knew that he
That's
was.
messed up.
Guys, just make it happen today. If you're not subscribed right now, change that.
Yes.
And,
but Bobby Altoff is getting divorced.
Her husband filed for divorce against her.
This was a big deal because Mary
Why?
pointed out when we first covered her, we're like, look, this is a woman
Okay,
who's
we've got
married
two
with
more
kids.
$20
She's a good
super
role model.
chats. Left-handed Link said, saw a familiar-looking, short, pale-skinned blonde girl at the local Taco Bell. When I asked if I knew her, she kicked me down, farted on me, smelled like burrito, and ran off maniacally screaming, "Live Moss, live Moss, live Moss."
Can you confirm nor
This is
deny?
fake news.
Okay.
This is fake news. Myth-informed MKE said, hit the like button if you think Shane Gillis should host the entire SNL episode in an Asian
Hey,
accent.
Misinformed.
What up,
Love you guys.
Misinformed?
That would be really good if he did that in the
Yes.
accent. It's really funny. They've been trying to retroactively get him in trouble again right before the show.
They're only.
Yeah, but like,
What if they
once
fired
you're-
him again?
Once you're resurrected after being canceled, you're golden.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
no,
Untouchable.
it's like bringing a kid across the border. They can't
Right.
get rid of you now.
They would do this to.
He's an anchor baby.
In the chat, so Niver says, but does Brent know who Deltron 3030 is? Yes, I do know who Deltron.
Nice. Deltron
Thank
3030
you,
is awesome. What about
guys.
hieroglyphics?
Hieroglyphics. Mastermind by Deltron 3030 is a really good song.
And who was in Hieroglyphics, you know?
No.
The guy who was in the lead actor in 3rd season of True Detective.
Oh,
what's his name?
Mahershala Ali.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. But Mastermind by Deltron is really, really good, though. I always, a lot of the underground rap, I'm from Minnesota, where there's a lot of underground rap, which I made fun of because I was like, it's pseudo-intellectual garbage.
No, there was some good Midwest. Like, I liked Slug. Was Slug from?
Sage Francis was the only
Sage
one I actually
Francis.
liked. Slug
I
and
like
Atmosphere sucked.
I
Just
like
my
them.
personal opinion.
I like them.
Can you hand me that
it's
money?
a bad personal opinion.
Okay, so, no,
Thank
it's
you.
a good one. Trust me, it's a good one. So the problem was, me and Mary talked about this woman, and Mary's like, she's kind of a good role model because she's got kids, she's married, she's in a stable relationship.
This Bobby person.
Yes, this Bobby
she
Althoff
has
person.
kids?
She does have
I thought
kids.
she's 12.
She looks 12.
pretty young, but she's actually, I think, 27.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
yeah, I said that was a positive thing, but she did seem like a psyop or an industry plant of some sort.
It did seem weird.
I don't think a married woman should record a podcast laying in bed with another man.
Probably a married woman shouldn't lay in bed
Or
with
lay in
another
bed with
man.
another man,
Yeah.
period.
Just at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she did that with Drake, and there were rumors that they hooked up, and people are blaming Drake for her divorce now.
Well, if you're a fella, also you shouldn't lay in bed with a married lady if you're not married to
Yeah,
her.
yeah. But I doubt that Drake really has
$20 one
strong
year
moral convictions
from,
about that.
random.
Crispy Leg Transport LLC said, random fact about me, PBD and I served together. I can't believe I forgot his name, but I never forgot his face. He started telling some barracks stories, and all the memories came flooding back.
Patrick
That's
Bet
really
David?
cool.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
Did
Wow.
you guys see Michael Rappaport on
Yes.
PBD? That was amazing.
No, when
It
was
is-
that?
Oh, was it today?
It was it yesterday?
It was just.
It's
it was
weird.
Just
It's like hell's
recently.
freezing.
Was he
over.
wearing
But
a
you know
MAGA
what
hat?
was but you know what was wild? He said that he that the Charlotte comments about Trump and Charlottesville were totally fake. Right?
The world we live in is fake.
He was
We're
like,
coming back.
He basically was like, I watched the whole thing and it was fake.
Wow.
The whole thing was fake.
I did not see that one coming with him. That's
Yeah,
pretty
we
epic.
ran it at Post Millennial today.
Amazing.
All right. Oh, this is gonna be. Let's just move on. Let's talk about the Elmo stuff because this was a big point of
Yeah.
discussion. Did you read Will Wheaton's comments about Elmo?
I have been avoiding Will Wheaton for a very long time.
You are a smart woman. You
That
are
time
a
is
very
over.
smart woman.
Yeah. Well, because,
okay,
you know,
so-
I love TNG and I had no issue with Wesley Crusher, but then it turns out Will Wheaton is such a little.
Let's
Well,
read through
we
this
showed
and
this
decide.
clip of Larry David
Satire
attacking
or not?
Elmo. Larry David attacked Elmo on live television, and Will Wheaton posted an insane rant about this on Facebook. Should I just read
Just
it?
I mean,
read it
just the
and-
fact
okay.
that Will
What we
Wheaton is
want you
posting on
guys to
Facebook,
decide,
you already
what
know
we
it's a
want you
problem.
guys to decide is whether you think that this is satire or not.
I didn't watch it until now because I knew it would upset me. Holy shit, it's even worse than I thought. What the F is wrong with that guy? Elmo is like the best friend to multiple generations
hold on
of
for a
children.
second. Hold on for a
No, he
second.
wasn't. He
Explain
was
to
a
people what this is about. Larry David going on.
I just said that, Brad.
Right. But everybody was talking over
In
each
the-
other. Say it more clearly.
Okay, Larry David attacked Elmo on live television.
Was it Larry David?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Will Wheaton said that in the Sesame Street universe, Elmo is a child who is currently putting mental health and caring for others in the spotlight. And Larry effing David did that and thought it was going to be funny. What an asshole. What a stupid, self-centered, tone-deaf asshole. Full disclosure, when I was growing up, my dad would grab me by the shoulders and shake me while he screamed in my face. He choked me more than once. He was out of control, always in a furious rage, terrifying. I'm a 51-year-old man, and my heart is pounding right now, recalling how I felt when I was a little boy who loved Grover the way that today's kids love Elmo. So this appalling, unforgivable, despicable act hits more than one raw nerve for me. And I'm going to say what I wish I'd been able to say when this sort of thing happened to me. Larry David, this was not okay. Your insincere apology communicates that you don't get that. First of all, you aren't even in the segment, but you just decided to barge in and draw focus because
still
why?
talking.
You couldn't stand that a puppet brought people together in a meaningful way that you can't. You couldn't stand that your appearance on national television to promote your wildly successful series was delayed for a few seconds while the adults talked about mental health. You wanted to manufacture a viral moment where everyone gets to see what an asshole you are. So they'll tune in and watch you portray an asshole in the last season of your show that celebrates how great it is to be an asshole without ever experiencing the consequences of being an asshole. He keeps going. Do you want me to keep
satire
going?
I can't
or
not. No,
satire?
obviously it's
Wait,
not
wait.
satire. Have
Mary-
you read his post
I
about
don't know.
being
I
on
don't think it's
being in
satire.
therapy and like all the difficulty?
Mary left out the part where he says that it's worse than October 7th, though.
I don't see that here.
That's fucked up.
But yeah, he said read the room.
I think it's fake. I think it's confirmation bias because we know he's an idiot.
I
But
think he's
it
in the last
seems
season
too-
of Curb, and he's just promoting
That's
it. This is
not
guerrilla
it.
marketing.
Really?
I think so.
Don't you think it could be both?
It could be both. That's the thing is like, I always I think about when Alex Stein was breaking onto the scene and people on the right saw him as a true leftist, crazy trans person. But for those of us who might have grown up on Andy Kaufman or something like that, you'd be like, this is a character.
Well, I remember I was following Will Wheaton on Instagram for a while before I stopped doing that a couple years ago. And it was like, it was always so overwrought and earnest.
Yeah.
And like overly sincere.
So he's just like
and
this?
super extra personal. And it got to be very gross. And he was talking about these super personal things about his wife and,
Right.
you know, his stepkids and whatever.
So this adds
and,
up.
I mean, I don't
It
mean
adds
to
up
make
to
fun of him for getting
certainly
abused or
sounds
whatever,
like that.
but
Listen, like a bunch of kids get abused. You grow up and you don't have to tell everybody all your issues all the time. You just leave it alone.
Seriously.
Like what? Everyone's parents are dicks at some point, you know? Like,
Yep.
so what?
I guess
Suck
watching
it up.
Elmo get attacked gave him PTSD flashbacks.
What
and
about
he
the
had
poor
to share
puppeteer
that with
on
us.
the ground? That's the real victim here. It's
True.
the puppeteer.
I thought Elmo shouldn't never have been like Tickle Me Elmo back in the day. Like
I thought that was
bothered me.
super creepy.
Yeah,
that was
bothers me.
molesty.
Yeah, very a little too. It was normalizing groomering. That's
was
the beginning.
normal-
Not to
Actually.
Yeah.
mention one of the early examples of Black Friday drama where
Oh,
parents
with
were
the
yeah.
that's right. That's
Yep.
right.
See,
That's a
Elmo's
whole thing.
very controversial. People don't realize how much of a lightning rod Elmo is.
I didn't like. I mean, I grew up on the much earlier Sesame Street, you know, and we didn't have Elmo. We had like Big Bird and Snuffleupagus. We had the Count and the Grouch
Right.
and grown-ups. There were grown-ups also.
Right. Yeah, I
See,
had that
yeah.
growing up.
And
This
Elmo's
year
just
they
an
were talking
annoying
about,
little kid.
Yeah, he's not as bad as that. What's the little princess fairy?
Oh, I forget which one
Yeah,
that
that's
is.
a
I
good
don't
one.
like her
Jordan
either.
Peterson called Elmo a disingenuous milksop.
Wow.
I have to.
I still
agree.
have no idea what a milksop is.
I feel like it's
A man lacking courage.
is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
All right, let's move on. Mary, why don't you tell us what's going on with Kanye West?
Bill Maher recently talked to TMZ because they're making a documentary about Kanye called Unhinged but Unstoppable. And he said that he axed a 2-hour-long interview he did with Kanye in the past year because of his anti-Semitism. He called him a charming anti-Semite. And he thought that airing the interview was going to normalize all of the anti-Semitism that he was projecting into the public.
It is interesting because it kind of runs parallel to what people were saying about the Putin interview, which is that you don't believe people are smart enough to make up their minds.
Exactly. He's insulting his audience. And also, if you didn't air the interview, why do you need to mention that you did it? You
He's
know?
virtue signaling.
Yeah, he is. He was talking to Harvey Levin, and he said, I thought it was going to be a learning moment. We were there for 2 hours. We had an amazing fun time. He's a very charming anti-Semite. And by the way, he's not the only one in America who feels this way. It's not like Jews are universally loved except for Kanye West. The problem is that he appeals mostly to young people. They don't know how much, and they surely don't know how much about the Middle East or Jews. So the combination of Kanye out there, I feel like he was helpful for spreading the fertilizer for this idea that Israel and Jews are the worst people in the world. And Harvey Levin suggested that you could say the same thing about Hitler in regards to West emboldening other people to voice their anti-Semitic views.
Is the idea here that Bill Maher Bill Maher's not an idiot. He's plenty capable of pushing back on whatever Kanye was saying. Is he saying that his arguments were so not persuasive that he wasn't able to push back in a way that was smart enough so that when showing this to an audience of reasonably intelligent people, they wouldn't be able to make up their minds for themselves who is in the right?
I'm curious what he even defines, how he defines anti-Semite.
Yeah.
You know, because everyone just throws that word around like it's, racist or misogynist these days.
I don't
It
like
means
the
nothing.
idea of just like him. Was he paid for his time, or is he like, hey, Kanye, can you come do this interview? He comes, does the interview, and says, nah, sorry, I'm not putting it out there.
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
Depends. When he
Tucker
did it.
aired his Kanye West interview,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there were a lot of disturbing comments in it.
Yeah.
You see a lot of that.
And I thought it was really interesting. And I was like, bravo for actually showing this whole thing. I think show the whole thing. And because he appeals to young people anyway.
Yeah.
And they're going to find out what he thinks anyway.
Yeah.
And young people don't watch Bill Maher anyway.
True.
So,
I wonder if it
just
was
air
on
the interview.
Club Random.
Who is it we were talking to that was, or maybe it wasn't even on this show, they were talking about, they said the whole reason they're bringing out, like, for instance, that the reason they're bringing back Jon Stewart for, like, the whole reason they're doing that is because he's only doing 1 day a week, is because they're going to clip the hell out of him so that he'll end up algorithmically, the short clips will be put up for people to watch, like, leading up to the election.
For sure. Yeah. They're going to have him. They're trotting him out to deceptively edit reality.
Correct.
Which is what he does. But now that he's going to be destroyed because Rogan's back on Apple, Spotify. YouTube again.
I can finally delete my Spotify.
Yeah. So that's happening. And Tucker's got this thing going on. So Jon Stewart, I feel like is less.
Yeah.
But Bill Maher, this is just pathetic. For someone who's so open about free speech. Come on. I
mean, I kind of look at Piers Morgan the same way. That they get any pushback at all, and then suddenly they fall back into their very mainstream.
Pathetic.
$20 from Francisco Sanchez Jr. Bill Maher, the man who laughed at the idea that tampons were available in male bathrooms at Berkeley College. Screw him.
Right. Yeah. And Bill Maher, the man who had a week to know that the Covington kids story wasn't what he was joking about by the time he told the jokes. We knew that there was more to that story. Then he had 5 days, and his idiot joke writers still wrote the jokes based on the false reality. Yep. But that's what Bill Maher does. He can be smart sometimes. But
the problem is like the people on the right are so desperate for the validation of people who normally disagree with them that he says one not ridiculous thing and he immediately people are like, oh, I always liked him. He's great. And I'm like,
that does happen just because you're like, because you're just so grateful that someone isn't just calling you a racist, transphobic, white supremacist. That you're like, oh, you must be great, Michael Rappaport. You must be amazing.
I can't wait for Michael Rappaport to come with me to CPAC next year. But it's not just that. We also have Kanye was doing a live stream of his concert at the United Center. I noticed a discrepancy here. They said it was almost full, but Kanye said they sold it out in 7 minutes. So maybe just people got caught in traffic.
Who said that? The journalist said that?
The article.
This is the same thing with like the Trump inauguration. They always do this.
My favorite was, so there was, did you see the thing recently? They were like, when Republicans were like, I guess it's still happening, Taylor Swift is evil. And they were showing you like the size of their concerts versus the Trump rally. And they showed Trump at like a non-Trump event where there was like 50 people there. And I'm like, this is why everybody hates you. Because she still has larger concerts than him. You could have shown a regular sized Trump rally and then a concert of hers and it would have been plenty sufficient.
Why wouldn't a pop star have bigger concerts than a political figure would have rallies where he gives 3-hour speeches?
Exactly.
But the concert,
that's
Kanye's concert was cut short because of anti-Semitic comments.
Well, he was streaming this exclusively on a platform called Veeps, which I've never heard of.
I don't know what that is.
He had a deal with them, supposedly, where they could cut it at any moment, make the screen black, cut off the sound, if he had any objectionable content. And this happened right at the moment when he rapped the lyrics, "I'm still crazy, bipolar, anti-Semite, and I'm still the king." And almost a second after that lyric, the feed cut to black and went silent, suggesting that it was done on purpose.
Kanye, you're an idiot. Like, why would you make a deal with these people knowing what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I keep saying he needs better people around him because this is a ridiculous deal. When you know you're saying all these things, maybe he wants it though. Maybe he thinks that's what's better. But by doing that, he's alienating his audience. Yeah. Because I was at the first listening party for this record. That was a mess, in terms of like technical stuff, because it took 3 hours to start. The aux cable was a problem. Basically the same stuff happened here. It went late and then the stream was
crazy.
killed.
You'd think somebody of his level of talent would have, at the very least, like top-notch people.
At the very least, a top-notch aux cable.
Yes.
Like, what's the deal with that? Like, those are not hard to get.
Frustrating. He's shooting himself in the foot. This should be a very big comeback.
Art Basel listening
It was
party?
that week. Yeah, it was in Miami. Yeah.
In Miami.
Yeah.
And did you see North on stage?
Yeah. That's when I wrote that. I wrote that whole thing about that. I was not happy.
Thank
He
you.
never recovered from that divorce.
They what?
He never recovered from the divorce.
He's never recovered from his mom dying. He's never recovered from. I mean, there's a string of things. The marriage falling apart before.
When did his mom die? Before that,
2008 or 9, around there.
That was the one from elective surgery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was the Art Basel the one where the great Kit Kat conspiracy theory came out?
What is that?
Candy bars. They're making the candy bar. Or Twix.
Oh, no, that's Twix.
That they're making candy bars bigger to make us fat.
We're spending more money just to make you fat.
Meanwhile, wasn't like somebody from Congress, was it Nancy Pelosi or whoever, was recently talking about how things were being made smaller to fleece us?
They are. I mean, have you seen water bottles lately?
Those are small.
They're getting small. They've got like funny little designs now to make it
Right.
look.
Like
to make it look like it's
They're modern.
intentionally designing.
Yeah.
It's
we know
like
what you're
when
doing.
you get a bag of chips and it's only filled to like the halfway
Yeah,
mark.
but that's
they
because
get
of the puffy air
yeah.
thing.
That's why you
Keep
need a
them safe.
Stanley cup that's full of lead.
That's why you need
You got one of those?
an adult sippy
Did you
cup with
shoplift
lead.
that?
I got
Did you
this
kill
as a
someone?
gift.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't buy it, I swear.
Did they shoplift it for you?
No.
They fight someone for you?
No.
I've seen those viral videos.
At least not that I know of.
How does Kanye fix this? How does he get back on track?
Kanye needs a better team around him. I know that. He needs a much better team around him. And
Does he even like these people? When I saw that video of him from another listening party going on that 10-minute rant,
He yelled at him.
all of these people around him were interrupting him.
Yeah.
They were recording him on Instagram Live. They were acting annoying.
What I think has happened
That
is
seems pretty annoying.
this is his first time as an independent artist. He's had huge labels or companies behind him, whether it's Adidas or Rock Nation, Def Jam, I guess was the last one. Now he's completely on his own, and he's kind of micromanaged himself out of the focus. So he's stretched really thin, and he's literally involved in every aspect of this.
When people wonder why the studios and why the labels take such a huge cut, it's because you don't realize that their ability to build infrastructure so that the show goes off without a hitch,
Yeah.
that's what they're there for, right?
But that's no excuse.
No.
He's got too much money. He's got too much knowledge to know to let it go like this. To have all your fans pay $20 to live stream this last night and then for it to cut short. Come on, dude.
I'm a little confused because I read through all of the lyrics on the Vultures album today, and none of them had this line in it. I'm crazy, bipolar,
It's at the
anti-Semite.
end.
I didn't see
Oh,
that
well, maybe
anywhere.
maybe he was just freestyling.
He was just freestyling.
No, he wasn't freestyling because there was no microphones. He was lip syncing to a CD. Like there was no microphones at the live stream.
Does the new grill affect his ability to sing? So you're saying it makes
He
it
has a
He's
lisp.
also wearing a Jason Voorhees
He
mask,
has a
which
lisp.
wouldn't help.
Yeah, none of that helps. Yeah, he's got a lisp in his whole face.
Also,
is
why
different.
is his wife walk around with the naked under the raincoat, the
Yeah.
naked under the sheer
Yeah.
the
A lot of that
raincoat? I
stuff
don't
is
get
questionable.
that. And she looks freaked out. I'd be freaked
Yeah.
out if I was naked.
You know what
walking around
though? I will
outside,
say
too.
I don't agree with the way she dresses, but she's actually really smart. She's like if you go watch her old
she's-
videos about
yeah.
being an architect.
Well, she's a hoe, but she's smart.
She's smart.
She's a smart
Yeah.
hoe.
Yep.
I don't know if she's a hoe.
Oh, she's a hoe.
She's
Really?
married.
She's a hoe.
But she
She's
does
married.
post. She has in the past posted some stuff, and she's got questionable friends in places like Balenciaga. But so does Kanye.
I mean, if she's a registered architect and she's like 24, that takes a lot. It takes like an intensive amount of schooling and testing.
There's a
and all
great video
kinds
of her
stuff.
talking about.
Doesn't that prove that this is not like she's making these choices of her own volition, right? Unless we're saying that he's physically forcing her to do this, then
Well,
she
really
is an
smart
adult.
ladies can be coerced, and
Yeah. I
that
don't
definitely
think
happens.
I think she's operating on her own.
I think she's making her own decisions.
Yes.
I think that she's decided that the fame that she's getting from this and the choices she's making will benefit her career down the line. She's clearly not. Though I guess she could start like Naked Hoes architecture firm. I would go
Naked
there.
Hoes architecture.
I would
Yeah,
go
like
there.
I'm not
you
sa-
show up
I'm
for
not saying
design
she's
meetings
stupid.
and it's
Let's
just
go.
like
I'm
high
actually
heels and
disagreeing with the
boobs.
people who say that she's being controlled and abused because I know she's smart and she's making her choices.
She's not being controlled.
I
Yeah.
just
I can
don't.
tell you
I just
that.
don't get it.
She's a hoe, but she's smart. That's
I'm not
that's
going to
my
call her a
verdict.
hoe, but I don't agree with the way she dresses. My problem with the whole thing, and I said this a few weeks ago, is North on stage as a 10-year-old at 3 a.m, hearing some of the most like ridiculous lyrics about sex a year after Kanye was railing about like not having his daughter around that very thing.
Yeah, that is
Right.
weird.
So I'm like, yo, what
And
happened?
crying about how what school she's in and everything. Like
Yeah.
you're not exactly a good influence either, bro.
And maybe, the argument you can make about where he's at now, because I don't like a lot of the lyrics on this album so far. I like the way the music sounds, and the argument would be like, well, he's just it's a new era, new phase, and he's gonna give them everything they want because he would say like, oh, I can say stuff about Jewish people, everyone gets mad, so all you want black people to do is rap about drugs and sex and stuff like that. So I'll do that, and then you'll be happy. And he's been welcomed back into the fold to a bigger degree than I think a lot of people expected. That doesn't excuse North on stage.
There are all of these people collabing with him on this album who are not getting any pushback for it. for associating with him,
Yeah.
but all of the brands dropped him. So what's that about?
Yeah.
Do you have any
I don't-
theory on why they're not
The
getting
brands-
criticism?
Branding is different
Like all
than
of
the
these
artists.
people who are collabing with him aren't having their
I
brands
think
or management drop them.
The rap world will never reject Kanye. They might say something like Cudi,
Yep.
exiled Kanye, but Cudi was at that thing you're referencing in Vegas and they hugged, which was insane to see after what Cudi said. I thought Cudi should apologize to Ye, not the other way around. But that's what it is. But Playboy Cardi, who I don't even like, or I don't like any of these people really, except for Ty.
I like Ty Dolla $ign.
They look up to him so much. They'll never, they all support them working with Kanye because that's the number one guy, So I don't think you'll see that from the rap side.
All right, let's move on. What would you guys like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
Cute of the day.
Cute of the day. Okay, we'll start with cute of the day first then. Here we go. Let's go. Frito Bandito. Oh, that's a very cute one there. This is Bard. He's a sleepy boy.
Aw.
That's a very cute dog. It's a very cute dog.
Even dogs need pillows.
Yes. And then this
I
one,
like
this is
that.
from Corey. It says, my boy Barley and I having a beer at Elder Pine Brewing and Blending Company. We came to see a baby cow. The other photo is Bar's new Bucky's sweater.
Aw.
That's really cute. I didn't even know Bucky's made sweaters for dogs.
I'm not a fan of putting any pet in clothes. I think it's humiliating them, and I think you should stop.
What
But
about when they're
I
cold?
disagree.
I mean, Chihuahuas get really cold.
it's and anytime I've never seen a cat put into clothes where the cat didn't look humiliated and
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
cats
my
don't
personal
need
opinion.
clothes.
No.
Definitely
Cats
not.
never
I don't
need
care
clothes.
what you say. It's cute.
I think. I mean, they don't need them. I have no issue putting
Yeah.
cats in clothes.
It's
Yeah,
a very happy
this
dog.
cute turned into cringe actually.
Yeah. Although
right.
when I was a kid, I
Thanks.
used to dress up my cat all the time, and I'd get in trouble for it.
All right, let's do cringe of the day. Mary found this one. Let's watch this.
That you're a musician.
Bobby Alta.
So that's
This
why
is
I'm interviewing you
amazing.
today, so I can get to know you.
So I'm a musician. What the fuck that mean? Make magic or something? What is musician?
I think you're confusing that.
Yeah, I'm not no musician.
I-
I make music. I make music. And that's not all I do. I make music, I act. I'm a TV star too, a young mogul.
Just really quick, I think you're confusing.
I'm not confusing nothing because you don't know. You thought that all I was a magician or whatever the fuck you said.
See, that's what I think you think I said. I said
No,
musician,
think
not magician.
I don't think, baby. I don't think.
I
What
think-
is that? That's ghetto. I don't think. I
think
know.
this is actually cute.
So you
'Cause this is
I didn't say
scripted.
magician, Suki. I said
She's in on it.
musician,
She's in on
It's the theme of the.
and I
the
think
show.
you are a musician.
No, baby. I do music.
So you just really quick, for the record, could you say you don't think you're a musician?
I'm not none of that.
But then after that, you just said I do music.
Yeah, I do music.
So in other words,
Yeah.
you're a musician.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
All right. It's
Okay.
look.
You
a
are
bit.
giving her a huge benefit of the doubt by saying that she's in on it. But I went to her Instagram and I watched a whole bunch of the rest of her stuff because I saw
like
this.
that.
And she's like so not intelligent.
I don't think she has to be intelligent because I'm thinking of.
I don't think she knows what the word means. I think she doesn't know what a lot of word
Maybe.
means.
Well,
Like a lot of words.
Maybe. I don't
There's
think she
only
has
a
to.
few words that she actually knows, and she uses
My
them in her
theory-
really bad songs.
my theory-
She dances around talking about her coochie, wearing the baby on her
Yes.
front, and
I
like
thought that
all
was
of the-
Sexy Red.
Really, I
I
went
thought
to
it was
her.
Sexy Red taking thirst traps while she was in the labor room.
I have no idea.
Another one.
Lord.
But
Oh,
I
okay.
went to this person's Instagram
And it's
and I
bad.
watched everything on the Instagram.
So that's all true.
I kept scrolling down and just being like, wow.
I think that's true.
This
but
person
Bobby
is
plays a
ridiculous.
character. This is Bobby, right?
Yes, it is.
So Bobby plays a character for sure. And I think of Between Two Ferns, and where Zach
Yes, exactly.
Galifianakis would give the guest like, "Hey, I'm going to do this. You should say this back." That's my theory.
Maybe.
Even though she's probably dumb.
I think there's people that are just that dumb.
Let's
And I
call her.
think she might be one of them.
You got a $20
That would be
from Pat the
amazing.
Plumber.
If it's
He
real, it's
said,
better.
I'm late. Are we getting bar fight Mary today? Shane, that demon crapping his pants must have been some crazy read. Good stuff.
Damn. Thanks for bringing up my PTSD from watching a man.
do you have the
shit
video?
himself.
I thought it was 10 to see the bar fight video.
I thought it was 8.
8?
But-
Well, we're at 7, so we're not there yet. You'll have to send it to me before we get it.
Well, I don't have it. I thought you had it.
Oh, I don't have it. Well, it's your video.
Well,
you
maybe we
witnessed
should
a bar fight and you recorded a bar fight?
I didn't record it. There were other people recording it, but this wasn't recent, and people want to see the video. I can try to find it while we're on air, but maybe we should save it for the 100K.
Yeah, if we get there, we'll show it on the 100K episode. We'll do that. All right,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get started then, shall we? We gotta get started. Let's go ahead and let's
You
go.
gotta subscribe and then
let's
you
talk
see it.
about Jonathan Majors. So if you don't know who Jonathan Majors is an actor. He played Kang in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. He has since been fired because he went to court and he was convicted because he assaulted his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. He's currently awaiting sentencing right now, but now 2 more allegations have come out against him, so things are not looking good. I think a lot of this is prompted by the fact that he just gave that media interview while waiting for sentencing, which is a horrible idea.
It's such a bizarre route that Disney took because this was ABC that did his interview trying to repair his reputation after Disney fired him. ABC is owned by Disney, so they're firing him to look good, but at the same time giving him an interview after his conviction to make him look innocent again.
Correct. Wow. I mean, there's every possibility that they hire him back. Just like we were talking about the other day, they fired James Gunn.
But then after, I'm sure they didn't expect more allegations to come forward after his conviction.
Expect that?
Because Disney's stupid.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
So the first allegation comes from a woman named Emma Duncan, who he was engaged to between 2015 and 2019. She says that she visited him on the set of Western Hostiles. After she started packing her things, she claimed that he pushed her on the couch and choked her. Majors then said, "I'm going to kill you," before throwing her across the room and adding, "I'm going to make sure you can't have children."
He threw her across the whole room? Dang.
That's crazy. I mean, whether it's made up or whether it's true, that's insane.
Duncan claims that on another occasion, Majors picked her up and slammed her against a mailbox after an argument, which led to bruising. A year later, she claims he threw her to the ground. She claims that her accounts of the relationship is well documented, adding, "I stand by the events described." Now, again, this is all secondhand accounts, and there's no way for us to know or prove anything, which is why it is always so difficult to cover these topics, because everyone's always like, "I'm going to wait for more evidence." Well, what the hell does more evidence look like? Unless we have secret ring cameras in every room of the world, you're never
we don't want.
Medical reports.
You're never going to see this. You're going to essentially have to decide whose word you're going to take for this. Are you going to take the accuser's word?
Yeah.
And certainly that was a very popular thing to do in 2017 or 2018. Or now, does preponderance of evidence suit you? Are you willing to just say, well, enough people have come forward? I have problems with the idea of where there's smoke, there's fire, because it's so easy to manipulate the smoke these days. I'm not saying that's the case in this story. There's been more than a few allegations, even before all this came out, of him being volatile on set, certainly when he was doing the show Lovecraft Country and stuff like that. So, but like, it's hard to cover this stuff because you don't know.
This is the problem with the oversaturation of Me Too.
Yes.
Because when there are real problems, people default to it being fake. And this could be real. I honestly don't know who this person is.
Jonathan,
idea.
he was in Creed 3. He played the.
He was supposed to be the character on which the entire next phase of the MCU hinged.
Like Apollo Creed.
Yeah, no.
Them firing him.
I just don't. I haven't seen it. Is it good?
I haven't seen it.
Them firing him at
good in
Marvel
Creed.
was a big deal for that reason, basically. He was
also in a
supposed to
movie called
be in all
Devotion.
of their next movies, and now.
How are his interviews? Like, are they believable to you guys?
I think he seems like a psycho. If I had to just, like, based on conjecture, like, try to analyze him based on body language or whatever recordings where he was talking to his ex, he does seem like kind of a psycho.
But you
like
can't
he
go
seems
off
like
body language.
No,
I can't. I'm not saying I can, but if I had to assume something about him, I wouldn't want to be in a room alone with him.
Right.
I'm going to read you the rest of this allegations, the ones from Maura Hooper. So it says, before they were together, Majors dated Maura Hooper, who also shared her testimony of his alleged emotional abuse. She claims that he was controlling and refused to let her speak to anyone about their relationship, isolating her from a support system, and she became pregnant early on. She had an abortion. During an argument when she confronted him over alleged infidelity, he threatened to kill himself. Now this falls in line with what we talked about before. Yes.
Yes.
Duncan also attests that he made frequent suicide threats. A year after they broke up, and Majors found out she was dating someone he knew, he allegedly called her a whore and said, "I hope you die, kill yourself, and I'm going to rip you out of my heart the way they ripped your baby out of you."
Oh,
Our baby out of you.
Yeah, so we said patterns because in text messages that were revealed in court, he sent suicide threats to Grace Jabari as well, in the form of, I'm such a bad person.
Yeah.
I'm such an abuser. I guess I should just kill myself.
I've seen these
that's
men
what he was
before.
saying.
I've seen these type of.
Yep.
of
We
men.
got
It's
$20
pathetic.
from Black
They
Brain
exist.
Love. Second day in a row catching the show live. Now, shameless plug. Check my podcast out, please. Gold Digger Comic Universe Review. Gold Digger is better than anything DC or Marvel has to put out.
Let's go! Go
Awesome,
check it out,
man.
guys.
Congrats.
Probably true.
Majors has also been accused of improper behavior on the set of HBO's drama Lovecraft Country. His co-workers on the show have claimed that Majors was difficult to work with. It was difficult to work with the women he worked alongside. He has been accused of threatening behavior and making derogatory racial remarks. And after 3 Women made a complaint to HBO, he was forced to make an apology, calling it all a misunderstanding.
Yeah. So after his conviction, he maintains his innocence.
Was he
I
a
guess.
cannibal though? That's
No.
what I need to know.
No Army Hammer stuff.
Okay.
No weird,
Okay,
kinky
interesting.
stuff.
'Cause I think that's going to be more of a news.
I think he seems more like a BPD profile, like
that?
borderline.
Borderline
Oh,
personality
He definitely
disorder.
seems like
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
like
yeah.
making threats like that, empty
Yeah.
threats.
Yep.
I'm not really like when we cover topics like this, it's not really about whether we think they're innocent or guilty or not, because it's up in the air. It's about whether what is being presented, true or not, will end up having a certain outcome. That's just the reality of it.
But the problem is, the evidence doesn't mean anything, unfortunately, anymore.
Because there is no evidence.
Because like when you said Ring camera, I agree.
Yeah.
But those could be deceptively edited,
Yeah.
and you miss out a whole part. I don't know what landed with the whole Crowder situation, but I see people fighting over even that footage, that they released with him and stuff.
And most of this is kind of by the wayside. He was convicted of misdemeanors, and given the fact that he's a celebrity and can afford really good lawyers, I don't see him even getting jail time.
Well, these
Right.
these are not lawsuits. These are
No.
New York Times interviews.
Yes.
Right.
No, I'm saying, but
Right,
I'm
like,
going back
that's
to
not-
I'm going back to the initial claim here.
But these
So-
two
Right.
other women,
Yes.
they're just giving interviews to New York Times where they could say literally anything. Did New York Times ask for evidence? Did they present any? I don't see any.
Right.
I mean, I understand that it could be true and they don't have evidence at the same time, but what are we supposed to do about it?
It's funny when people read things like accused of such and such, a lot of people just default to being, well, it must be. Right.
No, these days it's the opposite.
It's reversed. It's reversed.
These days it's totally reversed because of the
You're right.
excesses of the Me Too movement. Immediately what people assume is he's innocent. It's the Matrix. They're trying to destroy him. And unfortunately, the reality is just more complex and boring than
I wonder if
that.
the journalists think that still, or they know what they're doing when they write those sentences. At the New York Times, when they say allegedly or accused, do they know those words are doing heavy lifting? Or
They were the protagonists of the Harvey Weinstein movie,
Yeah.
she said, where they were glorifying these journalists that exposed Harvey Weinstein.
And depending on the political leanings of the reporter,
Right.
they have no problem sharing the story without evidence if they feel that it falls in line with what
Well,
they believe.
and they fabricate it. Look at the Rolling Stone situation with the
Lacrosse team?
lacrosse
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
It was entirely made up,
Yep.
and they had to go back and retract that. But that story infiltrated enough into public consciousness that I think
Yes.
it really had a major impact on everybody believing all women, et cetera, et cetera.
And their editor still came out and defended it.
Right. And there's been other cases where things were entirely fabricated.
Yep.
And there have been so many cases where people just haven't been allowed to defend themselves, like the anonymous accusers, like there was a lot of that on the shitty men
Right.
in media list.
Covington kids,
Right.
they actually set a precedent to some degree because they sued.
Well, that kid, Nick Sandman,
Yeah.
he just kept getting called racist and stuff.
Right.
The only thing he did was stand there and take a bunch of shit from
Smile.
from that protester guy.
Yep.
That's all he did.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is fair to point out that one of the lowest bars for credibility that we tend to have here is at least their names are attached to it. These aren't anonymous accusations. The women have attached their
That's a
name
good
to
point.
this.
It's
so
not
they're
like
willing
the
to stand
Russell
by
Brand
it.
one.
Yes, exactly. So you could add that as a reason to maybe it's like, why would you?
When I hear a recording of someone ranting and raving about how they're the Barack Obama or Martin Luther King of their generation because you were in Marvel movies and no one knows who you are, I think that you're probably crazy. I don't know if you're an abusive person, but you're definitely crazy.
So at a certain point, he said that to his girlfriend at the time that she needed to act like Coretta Scott King
Or Michelle Obama.
Michelle Obama.
He said, I'm a great man and I deserve a great woman,
Yeah.
or whatever he was saying. So he's recorded saying these things, and I'm just like, yeah, I mean, regardless of whether these allegations are true, you're definitely psycho.
It's and the sad fact is that accusations still hold a lot of power, because whether you like it or not, now every headline for the next 5 days are all going to be about this, and it doesn't really matter past that unless these women are going to seek a civil suit later. Right. If the job here is to get their story out, they've done it, and it tarnishes his reputation, true or not.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't matter because of what you just said, Shane. You have no idea who this guy is.
Right.
People don't know who this guy is. He clearly overestimates his own fame and notoriety. And his own impact, but the only people who know who this guy is are the Marvel fans, and even they don't pay attention to headlines about these actors.
Right.
Like,
Well,
he's
the
literally
actors are sort of a dime a dozen. Like, they can always just replace these actors with somebody else for Marvel, and it doesn't matter who they are.
he was like on track to become a bigger star, but he's definitely not there yet. And after this happening, after the conviction, after more accusations coming out, it's probably not going to work out for him.
I mean, I don't even, like, it's so funny. That's what I believe too. But like, Marvel has been doing so crappy that I don't even know
They're
if, like,
that desperate.
Yeah, like, no, I'm saying like he was, like, theoretically, if Marvel was still making movies that were all making $1 billion, then yes, his star would have been on an upward trajectory. But with the shape that the company's in right now, I don't think he would have reached the level of star that he thought that he was on.
Just because Marvel is not that big a property anymore.
Exactly. If we were talking 5 years ago,
that would be a different story.
It would be
well, that was when all you could find in movie houses was Marvel movies.
Yep.
Was the ABC interview the one you were watching where his body language is off, or is that a written interview?
Oh, I'm not like some kind of body language expert, but that was recorded, and he was trying to muster some tears.
But that's the interview you're referencing where, like, it came out before the verdict, I guess?
No, this
came out after his verdict, and Disney had already fired him, and then Disney-owned ABC released the interview.
Yeah.
Very
That's crazy. I mean, I guess, is it possible that interview just had, like, it wasn't coordinated with, like, the people that were in charge? Like, why give it to ABC and no other studio? But why would ABC care? They've already cut bait and let the guy go. I guess you could say they did rehire James Gunn. So
leave the door open.
The idea is to start rebuilding the reputation now, so that down the line, by the time all those movies come out, his image can be rehabilitated.
Well, that effort just got totally wrecked.
It's not going to work. And like, again, there's also a value judgment here to be made that if he was a bigger star, they might have just let it go.
Right.
Possibly.
Like, we were talking about this the other day with
or he would have had an easier time coming out the other side.
Yeah, like
Jamie Foxx.
Yes,
no one heard about those allegations.
Nobody cares.
That was just late last year. No one heard
were
about
those the allegations? Were those like the New York allegations where New York extended their whole thing and
Yes.
said you can accuse anybody forever now for 5 minutes?
Also,
for the whole year.
Did you see in when Kanye compared himself to, like, persecuted celebrities? He listed Bill Cosby. He listed
R. Kelly,
Diddy,
and he listed Diddy. I'm like, bro, you need to find some other examples.
He's always compared himself to Diddy. The Bill Cosby one is crazy.
That's new.
He's just trying. He's trying really hard to be a monster right now. I think, and he knows.
He just wants to be a bad guy.
Yeah, but he already did that with Yeezus, I think. So it's like, let's move on to something else now.
All right, let's go to Super Chats, Mary.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Friday to Brett, Mary, Libby, and Cashman. We're nearly to 100K. Let's go. I'm glad my bullying is working."
Bully people to subscribe. Bullying works.
Shout out to a fellow Shane. Not a lot out there.
DCNC said, "Some Taco Bell on me."
Thank you,
Thank
Shane.
you. Shane H. Wilder, "Everyone be nice to Brett. He's a busy man and has things to do after the show, or don't. I don't really care."
That was wishy-washy.
It started out so nice and
So
supportive.
polite until then. Do two more, Mary.
Marcos said, "Super Mary 07." Yes, 07's in chat. And Shane H. Wilder said, "I told you I'm not stopping it anymore. You people need to learn the hard way."
Look, they almost made it through the whole thing there without before Trudy Jones restarted the thing. They almost watched the whole thing. Let's hold off on the rest, Mary. We'll come back after the fact. You're gonna have to tell everybody what the hell is going on with M.I.A.
Yes, M.I.A. is a controversial rapper in the middle of a battle with her ex-fiance right now over the custody of her 14-year-old son, and in the process, she has gone on an insane rant on Twitter with a lot of confusing tweets, making accusations at her former manager, Jay-Z, at Hillary Clinton, and at her ex-fiance's billionaire family. And somehow she thinks all of this is connected in a conspiracy against her and her personal struggle.
Sounds about right. I don't know what the problem is. Everything you just said sounds exactly right. What's
Sounds
wrong?
about Shane
Jay-Z's in the
Cashman.
Illuminati.
Thank you guys.
I mean, he does do this.
He does do this. Oh, I shouldn't even do that on camera. I think that's terrible. Don't do it, Brett.
It's gonna get clipped now.
No.
You're in the Illuminati. It's confirmed.
Didn't mean
I'm
to do
okay
that.
with that. That's
No,
that's
Brett.
fine.
over.
No,
Yes, I am.
Better keep your eyes like covered.
So she posted this screenshot of what looks like an email. She quoted, "Biden won't let me see my child. The longest processing is meant to be 2 months, and it's already been that. And she's not getting approved for a visa to go to the U.S. right now. The email says she's ineligible for a U.S. visa due to her past behavior, despite having had visas before. She'll have to go through this process each time she applies, and she'll have to wait 6 to 9 months, which means in the next administration, I guess she's hoping that Trump will win and let her into the U.S. But when it says due to your past behavior, she's making a lot of assumptions that it has to do with a lot of her political controversies.
Is
She's
that a
very
reason?
outspoken about being skeptical of vaccines, about being pro-Palestine,
She's extremely
being
close.
against Black Lives Matter.
She's extremely close to Assange.
Yes,
That's why I
she's
think all this has to do with her ties to
defended
Assange.
Julian Assange quite often. Yeah, and she's had other controversies too. She got in trouble back in 2012 for flipping off the camera at the Super Bowl halftime show, which is insane to think about, like that being a controversy.
I think she's great.
Wait, so
I
Janet
love M.I.A.
Jackson
I think
was a
she's good,
controversy in
too.
Love her.
2004, but flipping off the camera is a controversy nowadays.
Yeah.
The real thing, though, is
We're
that she
lacking.
should just go to Mexico, ditch her ID, cross the border, give
It's
a
easy.
fake name,
Yes.
get $3,000.
We'll fly you there.
And then she could just go see her kid,
Our
and
tax-
she'd just get released.
Yes.
You know?
Our tax dollars.
She
will
has
pay
no
for it.
idea
Totally.
how easy it is.
It really
Yeah.
seems pretty easy. Yeah, I mean, just ditch your ID at the border and wander
That's
on
it.
in. You'll be
That's it.
detained maybe for a little bit, and they'll let you go.
So the interesting thing here is her ex-fiance is Benjamin Bronfman.
Bronfman, I saw
and
that. I know
he
who
is
that
the
is.
heir to a $1 billion fortune from the Seagram Corporation. Yes, the beverage corporation.
Mm-hmm.
And he's related to Sarah and Claire Bronfman. His grandfather is Edgar Bronfman, all of whom were involved in the Nexium cult. This is the Hollywood sex
They
cult.
just funded it.
That
Yeah.
they were funding it. They were heavily involved in it, and she just so happens to have this connection with them. Where now, by blood, she is their family.
Right.
She's their
it was
relative.
mostly like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
With sex cult attributes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's in some sense connected to them, but a lot of these were disjointed ideas. She said, "I've shown support for Julian Assange for 14 years and have been to the USA many times. The only thing different this time is I called for a ceasefire and spoke out against genocide and ethnic cleansing. Now I'm forced to pick between my child and speaking up for what's right." So she thinks that she's being denied a visa due to her pro-Palestine statements on social media.
kind of
But she's
thing-
also accusing Jay-Z of being paid off by the Bronfman family to cut off ties with her because she used to be managed by Jay-Z's Rock Nation.
Yes.
Not sure what to make of that, to be honest.
Jay-Z's a
but-
loser, and I don't like anything about Jay-Z, and I think he's always been bad to his artists. The only one who really came out of Rock Nation with any like popularity, I guess, is Grimes. I don't even know if Grimes is on his label anymore. But like he would let all these artists just sit on his label and do nothing forever.
Why?
I don't know.
Well,
I think he's just a loser.
Is he like a bad producer or whatever?
He shouldn't be.
She was managed by Rock Nation from May 2012 to the end of 2013, and allegedly the reason she left Rock Nation is because they were trying to delay the release of a documentary that she was doing.
Oh yeah, that's what's. I think Kanye's in that documentary too. It's a great. I really like M.I.A.
What's the documentary?
I forget what it's
It was
called.
about the
I like
making
her
of one of her
music.
albums.
Yeah, she's one of the most interesting artists around. I like her. Her new record is interesting, and it's only on her website. You can only press play on her website. No fast forwarding, no rewinding.
Really?
Yeah, there are parts I'm like, okay, like we don't have to chant Free Palestine for
Right.
20 minutes, but there are really interesting parts on that record. I forget what it's called.
Is it
cool.
Matangi?
Did you like?
Yeah.
Did you like get a boombox lined up and just record it?
I should have.
That's what you should do.
I should have.
That's
Damn. It's probably on YouTube now. I should find it. But her song "Borders" is one of the best songs. It's amazing. So it's really. I think she's onto something with a lot of this stuff. I think Jay-Z is part of a bigger conspiracy. He's friends with Marina Abramovich, who is a psychopath artist who does all the weird, what do they call it? The cooking sessions. We don't have to get into that on Pop Culture Crisis.
The connection between
weird stuff,
Jay-Z and the Bronfman family is that Edgar Bronfman was the former CEO of Warner Music Group back when she was with his son.
Interesting.
So he has a lot of powerful ties in the music industry and possibly was able to pay off Kanye to cut off her as a client.
Well, does he give
Jay-Z?
money to does he give money to the Bidens?
I'm sure.
Probably.
Not out of the question.
I'm sure.
Right?
So she almost married into the Bronfman family with Benjamin Bronfman, the father of her child.
Did not realize.
It's gotta be the worst feeling in the world to almost marry into a $1 billion family.
His father, Edgar Bronfman Jr., the former CEO of Warner Music Group, and then his grandfather is the Edgar Bronfman Sr., who was involved in Nexium, and his mother was an actress. So she's basically drawing all of these connections that there's a globalist conspiracy behind her not getting a visa to the U.S.
Clearly.
Do you think that she's on to something?
Yes,
I
do.
think that she's not exactly helping her case with these tweets because they sound crazy and disjointed, and they're written in all caps and horrible spelling and grammar.
It's my same criticism of someone I love is Alex Jones, his messaging can be bad.
It can be dicey.
But he's on to something, you know?
She's pretty funny, too. She tweeted, "My son needs both his parents. We're not in a Disney movie."
That part was great. That part was great.
She's definitely clever, but not helping her.
The tweets are kind of hard to decipher sometimes, but I mean, the Bronfmans. I'm looking up now. I didn't even know about Samuel Bronfman II in 1975 was kidnapped in Purchase, New York, which is where I went to my art college in Purchase, New York. Yeah, very weird, very sad little place in Westchester. Yeah, this family seems insane.
I've been out there.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, muddled messaging can be the hardest thing. Because I said, when you were sending me all of the material here, I said it's going to be very hard for a person who even has a shred of linear thought to be able to process through this in any way that's meaningful. It's very hard for people to...
when crazy people are trying to tell you a story, they start in the middle and they don't give you any of the context.
I do this all the time.
Like when I'm trying to listen to you and I want to believe you, you've got to start at the beginning.
It's my favorite way of hearing a story, though, from a crazy person when it starts in the middle. But you said you listened to her Instagram Live and it was really hard.
Yeah, she went on Instagram Live yesterday for 20 minutes. I listened to every word and it just doesn't make sense. Like, I get that she was legitimately ostracized in the music industry due to her political statements, because when she was first getting a lot of traction, this was in the late 2000s, when it was not trendy to make political statements as an artist. For anyone.
I mean,
at least it had to be the political statements that they wanted you to make, and they couldn't actually be like, you know, criticizing the Iraq war or whatever. Yeah. Like she couldn't say the things she wanted to say, and she was supposed to sell the rags to riches story. Like that's what they wanted her to talk about, because she is a Sri Lankan refugee, and then she came from nothing and made a name for herself, and like that's something you can sell. That's pretty easy to market.
And she was like a pop star.
They were like, I listened to her interview with Candace Owens that she did a couple of years ago, and she said they wanted me to talk about what it's like to eat truffle fries in Beverly Hills and drive a Bentley.
I remember that. That was fascinating.
Yeah, and she was very lucid and compelling and sounded so reasonable in that interview, which is why it's kind of concerning that she doesn't sound like she's of her right mind right now.
I would be freaking out if I could not get into the country to see my kid.
Especially if your child like happened to be connected to this weird, evil
I would be
family.
freaking out. I mean, how long has it been since she's seen her kid? I don't know.
Couple years, I think.
That's horrifying. Right. My son is turning 14 soon, and I just can feel the time slipping so fast.
I'm sure you would sound crazy too.
I already sound crazy, and then I would lose it. I would do the thing where you sneak across the border. Yeah, I would totally do.
There's a whole bunch of
M.I.A. if you're watching.
I'd be like the hobo with the little, scarf bag on a stick.
Yeah.
There's a lot of holes in the
senor,
wall
por
at
favor.
Yuma. Just drive over there,
Right.
fly into the airport there in Mexico City.
The latest she tweeted is, "They won't let me speak to my child unless I delete these tweets."
Yeah.
I would do anything. I would delete the tweets. I'd be
She
like,
didn't-
what do you want? You want my charge card? I don't care. Take it.
Yeah. I wonder if that was hyperbole at that point.
I don't know. And the last time we talked about her on the show was when she converted to Christianity, and she said she got the biggest backlash of her career for saying Jesus is real. She said she had this vision of Jesus while she was awake that turned her world upside down. And that was like more backlash than she'd ever gotten for making political statements.
Kanye
before
said similar thing because he said a lot of things that are wild, but he said once he started saying close on Sundays and he became born again during the Jesus is King era is when a lot of things started to go really bad for him. I mean, it went really bad for him after the InfoWars stuff, but you can look at it and see how he lost like fans or even starting to do certain shows. They didn't want to talk to him anymore because he's talking about Christianity.
And then she also accused a model named Aurora. What was her last name?
I forget. Is this the one who was friends with Solange?
Yeah. She accused this model of vaccinating her son when he was 12 behind her back.
Yeah, like that I need to know more about. Was
Like,
M.I.A. around at
She's
this point?
just
Or is
throwing
she...
all of this information out there and just
Right.
info dumping on us, and I don't know what to make of it.
Either way, that sounds really bad, but like, was M.I.A. still around her son at that point, or was this while the son's been away? Yeah, it sounds really bad though.
Yeah. And then she tweeted, "Be very clear why my Matangi record was buried in 2013. She's blaming Jay-Z for that. So maybe
She's having like a really bad time.
I wouldn't put it past Jay-Z. It's weird. He's got like really big artists on his label that just don't do anything.
Like what?
Like Jay Electronica, who was, I thought, bound to be one of the bigger rappers of all time, just kind of like languishing on a label. He put out one record, and most of the songs on that were songs that we had all heard years prior. It's just weird. That's like Erykah Badu's ex, and he's a really good rapper, very interesting guy. So I don't know why
Rock
these people...
Nation is still like active.
I think
right?
so, yeah.
It's owned by Live Nation,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
is owned by Liberty Entertainment Group, which owns Formula One and Sirius XM.
Yeah. I guess people listening
Illusion of choice.
could
Wow.
argue that like J. Cole is someone on his label who's done fairly well, but I don't
Baggio
find
is
him
on his-
interesting.
was on his
But I don't
label.
find him interesting. But that's me. Like subjectively speaking, I think he's.
Okay.
I
trash.
enjoy him in Gunna.
Here's
Right.
where you
Gunna's
start to
cool.
lose me. She suggested that Hillary Clinton gifted Gaddafi oil fields to Sarah Bronfman, the sister of her ex-fiance, who was also heavily involved in Nexium back in 2011 when Gaddafi was killed. Here's her tweet. Hillary Clinton gave Sarah Bronfman Gaddafi's oil fields after killing him. I was punished for saying he helped Africa. Then they tried to send my child to one of her schools. When I went to visit the school, the children looked dozy and drugged, and I couldn't tell why. I refused.
I looked dozy and drugged when I was in school too, but that's because I was bored.
Tucker
Yeah,
should hit up
that's cool.
M.I.A. on his
Yeah.
way home from Russia.
That's a great
and
idea.
do this interview.
You should do that.
It would be amazing because I want to know what that means.
I
you
found
know?
it very
I don't know if it
perplexing
means
when-
anything.
I mean, the murder of Gaddafi was so weird. It was like,
Really
here he
weird.
is really starting to put together Africa as like a viable economic power. And I guess that's why he was killed. But like, you know, things didn't turn out better for Africa after that.
Yeah.
He was the only one who was like, I have some ideas. And they're
Yep.
like, nope.
His whole death was like a humiliation ritual.
Yes.
Remember that video?
Yes. It was so creepy.
Really creepy.
And Gaddafi was like, you know, #1 enemy of the United States when I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Same.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
We're from the
We
same.
were-
We're from the same timeline,
Yeah,
right?
it was the same timeline, yeah.
From the before the Large Hadron Collider was
Yes,
turned on.
that's correct.
Yeah,
That's correct.
good. I'm glad we know that. But I think the M.I.A. stuff. I think she might know stuff. I mean, if she was operating that close to a family with that much money and history,
The Bronfmans are so weird.
she would probably know things that might sound completely crazy to us. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's possible.
Well, I guess this is just leaving us with more questions than answers.
Yeah,
And
I'd like her to-
I would like Tucker to ask those.
I like Tucker, and I
I
like
totally
M.I.A.
agree
to
with
like
that.
pull out documents like Putin did.
And that would be such a great
This is
follow-up
that.
interview to Putin, like Putin
Yeah.
to M.I.A.
Yeah. Seriously. You
Can't keep up with him. Okay, we've got super chats. Corey Anderson said, "Sniffinator, women suck. That's why I like them. LOL."
Oh, gee.
Roar Room said, "Oh, I don't know if I want to say this."
You got to do it now.
Libby would be
Oh boy.
MILF if she were single. Okay. Sorenko Productions said, Brett, I'm going to call it now. We're not going to finish this episode at 5 p.m. LOL. We might reach 100K.
I think we'll finish by 5. I think we're on a good trajectory right now.
Okay. Joe Sniffinator Biden said, I've come to terms with it. Born a virgin, I'll die as a virgin. Soundtrack to my life would be crickets.
Damn.
Jeez.
Come on, bro.
Why are the super chats so depressing
Here's the
today?
thing. If you have no confidence in yourself, then nobody else can either. You got to at least fake it.
Yeah.
You gotta fake it till you make it, bro.
It's all
can do
fake
it.
anyway. Even when you make it, then it's even
true.
more fake than before.
That is the truth.
Corey Anderson said, have y'all seen Blue-Haired Mary? I don't think they have.
No.
Technically, they've qualified for Blue-Haired Mary if that's 8 crisis parties.
We've already shown Blue-Haired Mary on the show,
I don't have the
but
pictures.
like,
I don't have.
When
the
did you
pictures
have blue
with me.
hair?
I think I was like 15 or 16.
I also had blue hair when I was 16.
Yeah, I did like red, pink, purple, blue.
That's very cute.
All at one time?
No,
Oh. It was
over
like
the
a
years.
Over the
rainbow.
years.
Rainbow Mary.
Right.
Yeah. From the
Theoden,
alternate
It was
dimension.
like Pride Mary.
No. Theoden, King of Brohan, said, wait, is Bale going to make them sell newspapers?
I don't believe so.
No. Hiroshima Otaru said 100% not satire. Will Wheaton is 100% bitch made.
I think so too. I agree with you.
Do one more.
Okay. DCNC said, before the Tickle Me doll, Sesame Street was all about Big Bird. Now no one cares about the giant yellow bird. Hashtag justice for Big Bird.
I'm with you on that one too. These are good
He
super
needs
chats.
justice.
Because. All right, Mary. Why don't you tell everybody what's going on with Apple?
Yeah. Apple just launched the Apple Vision Pro. It's basically the next phase of VR. They are goggles that you wear around your head and you can access the internet with them. You can watch sports. You can use Apple Maps, Google Maps.
You
while
cannot,
you're using
however,
them.
use VR porn.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's still not something you can access with them. But people are starting to wear these things out in the wild, and it's making us all feel nervous about the future. It looks very dystopian. If I saw someone wearing these in public, I would probably bully them because they look dorky. That's the main problem, is that they look so dorky.
Mary's going to hold
gay.
struggle sessions for these people.
They look like the sunglasses that Randy Savage, or that Macho Man Randy Savage used to wear.
Yeah, they look like suicide pods for your face. That's how I see them.
Suicide pods for your brain.
Yeah, for your
Do you
brain.
guys remember Google Glass? People looked ridiculous when they had Google Glass too, and then that died. The thing with the Apple things is it's like it's just sort of an admission that reality is not good enough to live in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it has to be augmented. And also the other thing too is the life inside VR is also not good enough to live in. It's like we are mediocritizing our entire life, our entire reality.
Yep.
And that's the really sad part because, you know, you see these studies come out, people have less and less actual friends, less real life experiences, less sex, less actual relationships, less connection with their families. You know, and it's just very sad that we weren't meant to exist like that.
I think it also kind of goes in what I was saying a little bit earlier about, like, you have to fake it till you make it confidence-wise. No wonder we have a society that may have less confidence than they ever had before because you're not actually experiencing things in the real world. So without real-world experiences, there's no way to actually bolster your confidence because it comes from doing.
Well, that's the thing, too, that you see with, like, these education curriculum programs and you see them, like, pushing social emotional learning and they're like, the kids don't have any social skills, so let's focus on that and we'll downplay math and things that actually will build confidence because they give you skills
and structure.
Right. And so I think that's a big issue too. Like I just I'm now homeschooling my kid because working 6 to 9 hours a day was not enough for me. And we just started like a month or so ago and it's already going way better. Like I'm super stressed out about it, but like a lot of stuff they weren't teaching anything.
Interesting. Like,
they
what
just
did you notice?
Weren't teaching anything.
What was 1 or 2 things that you noticed they weren't
So,
teaching?
you know, for years I'm hearing I'm just not good at math.
Right.
Or I didn't get to participate in the science experiment. Or like, you know, how'd you do on your English test? Okay, but, you know, I was way ahead in the book. They're on chapter 4 and I finished the book already last week.
Whoa.
This kind of stuff. So now we're, you know, reading at his pace. I'm looking at the curriculum and he's like, oh, I'm already in chapter 16. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about chapter 6. Let's go from there.
Right.
Let's talk about that. With the math stuff, it's a lot more, obviously it's very hands-on. I'm sitting right there and we go through all of it. And today he's like, the math is going I feel way better about math now. We understand all of these things.
Wow.
And that's going way better.
That's great.
And he, we did a math test. That was bizarre.
Wow.
Do a test here, you're in your pajamas still,
Right.
whatever. But just a lot of stuff. There's a lot more confidence with regard to the skills that are being developed.
Yeah. I wonder if this is...
We're doing science. We did chem projects. We blew up some hydrogen. That was baller.
Your kid would be into one of these things?
Oh, he keeps asking me for these. He's been asking me for a VR thing for years.
Yeah.
Oh.
And he knows that under no circumstances will I ever buy it for him.
Do you think keeping it out of the house will make him want it more, and then when he does get a chance to have it,
He's gonna
overboard?
rebel.
I don't know. I'm not going to offer him weed either.
Yeah, it's true.
We're not doing
That's
these
true.
That
things.
could go for a lot
Yeah.
of things.
I like that
Yeah.
this is compared to weed.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like,
Yeah.
try your first drink at home, son.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
screw that.
Totally.
No chance.
I'm with you on that. I wonder if this is going to be a phase that kicks off and stays, or it's going to be like Google Glass where it just dies
Mm-hmm.
away,
Probably.
Well-
I think that the look of them is a barrier there.
Well, I asked him
terrible.
earlier
They look
if he had the
retarded.
Google glasses, which
He
he,
did.
said he did.
Yeah.
And he said basically all they did was take pictures or record video, and you could access the internet, but it wasn't legible in front of your eyes.
Interesting.
And yeah, they were basically useless. But this is the next frontier of that type of technology where it's totally... It's supposed to be totally integrated with what you're looking at outside of you, so that's why they would argue it doesn't isolate you from what's going on around you.
Oh, it
But you
isolates
see
you.
people
But you can
doing
see,
this
in
in
these
the air. They
videos-
look like Biden trying to
This
shake
guy
someone's
is-
hand.
I'm
This
sorry.
guy is doing work on the subway, which
Yeah.
I see
while
the
wearing
video.
these, and I'm someone is going to steal these off of your
I
off
look
of
at
your
the
just
video,
punch you.
I look
Or
at the
push you.
video of the two guys who are eating lunch together on their with their Google with these on or with their Apple goggles on, and I'm just like, how is this any different from two people who are sitting there not talking to each other? I get it that it's different, but
Which
I'm saying
kids do
you're
that
still,
too.
You're still not communicating with it's still something when I go out to eat with someone, I have to tell myself, put this down,
Yeah.
engage with the person in front of you.
Yep.
You're not doing yourself or them any favors by dividing yourselves between with an internet between you.
Yep.
Right? So all this is just a fancier way of doing that. It's not going to help a generation of kids. I just saw the story the other day, I'm sure you guys talked about this, of the kids who were protesting outside their school because cell phones were banned. Right?
I did not see that.
Yeah, okay, so there was a school, and they banned cell phones, and most of the kids in the school just wouldn't go to class.
That's the thing. The problem in the first place is that you allowed smartphones and then you gave them a taste of it. They wouldn't have to protest if it was just understood all along that that wasn't acceptable.
I'm so glad I had no smartphones in high school.
It's also life-threatening because some people are wearing the Apple Vision Pros while driving in self-driving Teslas,
That's creepy too and dangerous.
which I think is illegal, right?
it really ought
That's
to be illegal. If
It's
you're not
basically
allowed
the same
to,
thing as texting and driving.
If you're not allowed
but
to
worse.
text and drive, why should you be allowed to live in exist in an augmented virtual
Yeah.
reality and drive?
You were recently in a car that self-drove.
I was.
How was
I was
that?
in California. I was visiting my brother, and my kid really wanted to go in the self-driving car. So my brother, of course, he's a San Francisco guy now, and we got in. I did not trust the vehicle.
Yeah.
I was sort of creeped out the whole time.
I
Yeah.
don't like it.
I didn't like seeing the steering wheel move on its own.
There's
Yeah,
an
I
insane
don't like
amount
that.
of Teslas here in this area compared to I was back in Minnesota over the summer. I didn't see a single Tesla the entire time I was there. They're everywhere here.
Yeah.
They're everywhere in California. There's even
Yeah.
more. We just we were like, oh, we'll count the Teslas, and it was like, you get to 500, you just give up.
Wow.
It's
you
not
see-
cool
let's
anymore. if
Let's show
everyone's
people the
doing it.
video
Yeah.
of the guy on the subway. This
I'm
is,
curious what it looks like inside.
Yeah.
Are there
Yeah, let's
videos
see.
of that?
He just looks like a dork.
You don't know that this kid's actually writing the next Odyssey.
Nah.
He's working on the Iliad.
Doubt
Right,
it.
but it's
doubt
in
it.
VR.
So there are
Like,
also
you can only
some-
see it if you get the glass or whatever.
Screw that.
living his best life, doesn't give a crap what anybody else thinks.
Like if
There
you're
are
sitting in
some-
Washington Square and you have VR on, like you're doing Washington Square wrong.
yeah.
Totally.
There are some videos also from inside the Apple Vision Pro if
Yeah.
you wanted to see
Can
those.
we- I'd like to
This
see
one
that.
is an Apple Vision Pro deepfake app concept
here we
where
go.
you can face swap people in real time who are standing in front of you with celebrities.
Did celebrities sell their image?
I don't think they have an
Oh, no, it's
option.
not Leo, it's Jack
What are you doing?
Dawson.
Stop it. What is this?
That's so
What?
creepy.
That's awful.
Your
She's like-
boyfriend is Zac
she's like-
Efron forever now.
She's like the Apple goggles stay on during sex.
Yeah. Yeah. And there was also like you can watch sports on the Apple Vision Pro. You can use spatial vacuuming, gamified home cleaning. It shows you like little
Gamified
coins.
home cleaning sounds fun.
Well, then show
That's
the
good for
video,
chores.
Brett.
Good thing for
Show the
chores.
video.
That's what
Is
I'm
that,
saying.
is that in the same one?
It's no,
Like,
it's,
I
yeah,
don't want to
it's
wash
the third
my
tweet
dishes.
down.
Okay.
Let's turn it into Pokemon.
Here we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Or something.
See
looks
that?
more,
Space
it
Invaders.
looks more Sonic the Hedgehog to me.
You collect coins by vacuuming.
Oh, that's less. That doesn't seem
This is
great.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that's boring.
It didn't even get the corner. It's
Yeah.
sucked up that's wrong. Yep.
Is that how you get Bitcoin?
That's how you're gonna get,
Is
like-
that Bitcoin? I don't know.
I would do it if it was Bitcoin. But aren't these not Google, whatever they are. What company is this? Aren't they
It's
like
Apple.
$40,000 or something?
No.
How much
Aren't
are
they a
I
lot?
don't think so. I thought they were like at least under 10K.
Are they?
Okay, either of those numbers is ridiculous.
But still, yeah.
Too
You can
much.
also use an app on Zillow to tour homes in the Apple Vision Pro, like as if you were inside them.
Wow.
You can
Wow.
use real-time translation with somebody like speaking to you
Putin and
in
Tucker
another
both
language.
have
Like
their-
they could
their-
both use the Apple Vision
Yeah.
Pro in their interview.
Yeah.
No, you need the body language.
Yeah.
5K.
Well, and of
they're
course
saying
Putin
for 'em.
speaks
Yeah, I thought
English,
they said
but
they were
he's not
five.
gonna-
I thought they were 5,000 or something like that, like 3,999 or
Still ridiculous.
4,999.
In,
It's a
in
lot.
10 years, it'll be $200, and a lot of people will be plugged in.
Well, 4,000 for what they're selling is not that bad,
Yeah.
really.
No.
It's
You
not.
could probably keep upgrading this, right? Like you download something to make it look better, so and whatever the fake world evolves.
Makes me laugh because my favorite thing that movies still do to this day, which they never need to do, is when you watch these spy or action movies and they've always got the holographic monitors. I'm like, just use a regular monitor. Like it's
How do you have peripheral vision when you're wearing these? I don't think you can. Not safe if you're walking around a city subway.
Yeah.
Or just,
Platform,
your average mountain hike.
Right.
But this is like
One
when
little
you
step.
when you have multiple monitors at your desk, and this is just putting the monitors in
Yeah.
front of your eyes instead, where you can be watching sports on this
so is the idea here
one,
that,
and then
like,
you're like on Twitter, you're scrolling Twitter on this one, and then you've also got your smartphone, and then you've also got music playing, and then you can like Google search something, and it's just like it's never-ending feed of stimulation.
well, what if you're
Meanwhile,
just using it on
you
your
never
own?
get
Like,
anything deep in
you
your
just,
brain.
Like, you're just
no
using
deep
it when you're at
thoughts.
home. Maybe the idea here is that it's just ridiculous to bring it out into public and use it while you're on a bus or out in like a park.
But that's exactly what people are doing because it's sort of like wearing AirPods in public. It's a signal that you don't want anyone to talk to you. You don't want to
Yes.
interact with the real world.
I have done that for that exact reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that that's also a negative trend. I don't like that.
I feel like I'm at danger anytime I've been outside with the AirPods on because
You feel like you're in danger?
yeah, in danger because they turn off all the sound so well that I'm like constantly thinking someone's behind me about to stab me.
I always
Right.
have my headphone in my right ear, which I can't hear out of. But like if I was to put it in my good ear, it would immediately put me on guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're great headphones, but yeah, in public it seems sketchy, and I try not to do it often.
The face swapping thing is the most creepy of all here.
Oh.
I know it's just it's a concept. It's not real yet, but it definitely will be.
Somebody could make a movie where a guy hacks them so that somebody's Apple, like, so the goggles do it without them knowing it, so he looks better to people who see him through the goggles.
This is awful.
I'm going to start a company where we can sell this to dead people, and we can keep the family playing on the dead person in the casket for all time. I wonder how the battery life would be on these things, and do it for the family too, so you can keep reliving memories. I'm actually not going to do that because I think that's horrible.
Yeah,
Have
that
you
all
seen the
sounds
new thing,
extremely dystopian.
They will put like a QR code on a gravestone, and you
What?
can like click
Yeah.
it, and you can see like a snippet of the person's life.
Wow.
I hate
Sort of
that.
They've
sweet.
engraved a QR code?
Yeah, not engraved. It's just like a sticker.
Imagine an engraved QR code.
Right.
We're probably not far from that future.
That would be pretty interesting. And
That
then
is
the kids
interesting.
go do the pencil on the gravestones.
I'm
They end up with
becoming more of a
hieroglyphics.
Luddite
Yeah.
as you say
Yeah.
this.
Yes. Yeah.
Superchats.
Corey Anderson said, if you ask me, Elmo had it coming, so did Will. It's true. Tacti Platty said, Libby, have you started Star Trek Lower Decks yet?
Yes, I
Thoughts?
watched it with my son, and we had a great time watching it, and I quite enjoyed it. I was talking to a friend of mine who's also super Trekkie, who was like, who didn't like all of the references to the old stuff, to like DS9 and TNG and the original and all of that. But I actually found it really fun because I remember every single episode that is referenced. And so I really had a fun time watching it. Thank you for the recommendation.
Gal Gadurp said, Will Wheaton shows men can also ovary act.
LOL.
I never heard that word before, but I'm going to use that. DCNC said, hey, Conspiracy Man, you mentioned Kaufman. When will he be appearing next?
Oh, hopefully soon. I was hoping he would come back to run for the 2024 election.
What is he referencing?
Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman?
Who?
But you mentioned him? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I did
you
mention
mentioned
him
him in
recently.
regard
Okay.
to Stein.
That's right. Yeah, he's. It's right. When he died, people didn't believe he was actually dead. So that's like a theory that he was going to come back. His brother even kind of
Got it.
leaned into that theory. Yeah.
DCNC said, make a poll, you nerds.
We'd have no poll
Well, a
today.
poll about what?
You'd have to let us know what you'd like to,
Did they?
like to vote on.
You asked
today.
them about if they think Will Wheaton was.
Oh,
Was it satire?
might be a little late in the
Yeah.
show to do that.
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
But yeah, that would have been good.
DCNC said, be there for the rap battle. It's going to be interspectacular, fantabulous. It'll blow your socks off. Deltron 3030 is instupituous.
I like Deltron. Like a lot of that era. Like I had a particular disdain for like pseudo-intellectual Minnesota rap because it was also like basically emo rap, which I had a great hatred for.
Speaking of slug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very like I'm in my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Wah.
Yeah, it was
Wah.
emo. Yeah, emo rap is a perfect way of saying it.
No, it wasn't for me. Also, there was just
I don't
this,
like emo rap
There was this
either.
tone
I
of
don't.
self-satisfaction of everyone who listened to it. Like, I'm not mainstream. I listen to something that's not.
Yeah.
But people even act like that if they listen to Kendrick Lamar. Like, that's...
Yeah, he got a little emo there. I always preferred the West Coast rap.
Would you say like Travis Scott is emo rap?
To some degree, he's probably emo-y, dystopian emo. That's what he is.
Lil
He's
Uzi
like the
Vert.
worst.
Uzi Vert. He's got some songs I like, but he is pretty bad. Yeah.
Lil Uzi Vert has the song. He says, "I killed my girlfriend because I'm emo."
Does he really?
Yeah.
That's not what emo
Wait,
guys
I thought
do.
that- I
Emo
thought the
guys
lyric was
don't
like,
tend to be
Or
killers.
no,
they
what
hate
is
on me because I'm emo, or they bully me in school because I'm emo, or something. Shane H. Wilder said, is 8 for Mary Bar Fight Morgan still in play?
I thought you had the video.
I don't have the video, but I guess
Somebody sent it to me on Twitter the other day, but my Twitter timeline
Next
is
this real?
straight up.
Is this real?
this
It's
is
a
real.
It's real.
It's real.
Wait, how did they find it? Did you
It
put
was
it out there?
it was like public. I mean, it was posted on YouTube, not by me.
And you were like, is like fisticuffs? Were you fighting here? Like,
No, it's not like a real fight, but
Okay.
there was an altercation and police were called.
whoa.
Wow.
How long ago is this?
2020,
Wow.
before COVID,
Nice.
like right before
I
COVID.
want to see it.
Okay, I'll show it to you.
I killed my girlfriend.
once I
That's
find
why
it.
I'm single.
Oh, okay.
Who is that?
It's from the song That
yeah.
Way. It's basically Lil Uzi Vert does a Backstreet
The
Boys
emo
song.
one is earlier in the song.
Yes, correct.
Corey Anderson said, the Lord brought us into the world naked. There is nothing scandalous about the human body. If that's your argument for why pornography is okay, then
That's a bad one.
yeah, that's a bad argument. DC&C said, Mary, which is your favorite demon and why? Shane, what's your favorite conspiracy theory and why? The sane hosts don't get a question.
I can't believe I'm saying.
Favorite conspiracy. Come on, guys.
I didn't
What
think
is
we
it?
were
The
clouds
sane
are fake.
personally, but
Everyone knows that.
okay.
The clouds.
That's a first.
Yes, Mary.
Clouds?
All the clouds are fake. There's a hierarchy of clouds. There are vintage clouds, but they've been poisoned by the forever chemicals in the water system and the lakes and the oceans. And then we also make clouds out there to block the sun because of geoengineering. We also make clouds to seed the sky to make it fake rain. There's also fake snow.
Libby.
The sky also might be fake.
Did
So,
you notice that the sun used to be yellow and now it's not?
Because they've been geoengineering, and we cover the sun because people like Bill Gates have things called ScopeX, and there are these ideas to literally dim the sun with geoengineering. They're with dust. They've been talking about that for years. Bill Gates wants the government to fund him. He was, I don't think he got it this time, but there's many of those. So yes, the clouds are fake. It's not a conspiracy theory, but people might think that, and it's my favorite one.
Okay. And I don't have a favorite demon. Why would I have a favorite demon?
Does he mean like from a character? Like
No,
just like in general? Like
I don't like
Bob.
I don't like demons.
Bob
What
from
about
Twin
what
Peaks.
about the one Saint Margaret killed? Didn't she kill a demon?
That doesn't mean it would be my favorite. My
It's like that's just
favorite
my
one.
favorite serial killer.
Yeah, like I don't know. Corey Anderson said Barley only wears clothes when he goes on walks in the cold. See, Brett, they need the clothes.
No, they
Dogs need clothes.
No, they don't.
They
got fur.
His manliness will keep him warm. let's hold off for the rest. Let's come
Okay.
back here for a second. Talk about Isla David.
Yeah, earlier this week we talked about a new AI program that is used to clothe scantily clad women on the internet against their will instead of the opposite, which would be making deep-faked porn of them. So I personally loved this initiative. I fully support it.
Agreed.
I think that all of the women in the examples look much better once they're in a nice dress instead of lingerie.
It's a $20 one there.
What is this? I'm not going to read that username. He said, "Hey Shane, have you heard of Mr. Black from Hollywood? I worked in VIP security and with the governor's protection detail under Arnold Schwarzenegger. I met Mr. Black and it was the creepiest person ever."
His name's Mr. Black.
I don't know who Mr. Black is. Is this like a
don't know.
fixer guy, or are we talking Michael Ian Black? I don't know. Lewis Black.
You're going to
Jack
need to
Black?
give us more context.
Which Black?
Yeah, so now a specific OnlyFans model who got dignified by this AI program has spoken out and she is fighting back. Rolling Stone reported on this. 4chan chuds used AI to clothe her. She fought back.
Dun dun dun.
Dignify, a 4chan-led campaign to put clothes on thoughts, is just another way trolls are using to humiliate women. So, yeah,
She's like, I'm gonna be more naked now. How do you get more naked?
She said they're either subtracting clothes, editing my waist, editing the size of my chest and hips, just generally treating me like human Play-Doh for them to mash around. Interesting. When you become a digital prostitute, people think that they have control over your body.
I wonder why
How
that
could this
is.
have ever happened?
I am going to show the picture
Shocking.
here. I do want to point out that they absolutely did her dirty as far as what they actually did to her body.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Here's
So-
a picture of
Clothe
it.
her, but like they took away her boobs.
And gave her
they
weird,
took away her
and gave her
butt.
kids that are not her kids.
Right. One of those. They also look at one of her feet.
Like, which is why I do believe a part of this is it's a form of they're trying to humiliate her. In a way. They
Ian-
know that
Ian
the
Miles
other people-
Chong
it's
said,
humiliating for them to cut her boobs off like that.
Ian Miles Chong posted it. It got millions of views, and he said, when given pictures of thirst traps, AI imagines what could have been if they were raised by strong fathers. The first photo, if you guys are listening rather than watching, is her wearing underwear and a sheer top, sipping whiskey. And then the second photo
With like
from
a whole,
AI
yeah.
is her in a white dress surrounded by 3 children.
Her head is enormous.
I like
It
that
really-
they changed the tree.
It messed up the proportions.
Yeah,
She
it's a
has
different
6
tree.
toes.
Her foot is all messed up.
Yeah, she has 6
this-
toes and then like barely has a hand. So I don't think that Dignify was the same program that made this one because the other ones look much more realistic. Those are examples we showed
We
on
had
the
a
show
$20
before.
one here from Bender the Offender. He says, imagine complaining about gaining some dignity through AI image. But they didn't give her dignity here. They actually destroyed her physical appearance, is all we're saying.
But that's not really what the aim was. The aim was to put more clothes on her because she wasn't wearing clothes.
I don't know about that. Like, I do think a lot of this, yes, maybe the
You're
argument,
simping.
maybe
You're
the
simping.
argument is that they want to dignify these women, or maybe they just like that the women don't like that they're doing it, and it's just a way to troll them.
I mean, Yeah, it is. I agree with.
It's just reverse. It's just reverse whore trolling.
Dignity.
Where instead of taking the clothes off a more modest woman, you're putting them on someone who doesn't want it on there.
I've never heard whore trolling before. That's an amazing phrase.
She said the implication.
That's what that show Whatever is. That Mary
that's
does.
Exactly what. Way to put it.
The implication is that I'm
true.
something other than a whole person, that I'm some broken creature, and if I would just put on a long dress and have babies, all would be resolved.
That's
and I
dope.
take umbrage with that because my value has nothing to do with the images I choose to put online. And she said this was an attempt to violate me and my bodily autonomy, regardless of whether you're adding or removing clothes.
Well,
she has no right to imagine to think that this wouldn't happen. She's a public figure who's done this to herself. I understand.
A lot of pre-thoughts before the thought thing was the craze would go on shows like Ricky Lake and have this makeovers happen all the time.
Jerry Springer.
Or Springer, Maury perhaps. Montel.
I was just you're
Kamala's
like
ex.
Them all like right. Kamala keeps saying the same thing over and over again. It's just so stupid. But
She's got a pull string on that.
I personally, I don't look at this image and see anything utterly offensive about it.
The first image is not offensive to me. I don't see an issue with the first image.
I don't look at this in pearl
It's
clutch.
just like
She posted it on a subreddit called Whiskey Porn. So clearly she thinks that it's pornographic in nature.
I do think it's
Or it's really about the whiskey.
Yes,
I mean,
food
look,
porn is a thing.
This is a woman who is on OnlyFans selling imagery and videos that are far more explicit than just that. So we get the picture. I mean, you are selling yourself as a product. The second that you commoditize yourself, people don't consider you a whole person anymore because you are dehumanizing and debasing yourself. So why are you surprised that this happened?
There's a really interesting discussion to be had here, like what we were talking about earlier about somebody who, one of the hacks that these programs use is that they make you think that you're having a relationship with this person because you're able to communicate with them in a manner more than just buying their pictures, right? But as me and Mary were talking about this off air, I said the difference is that if you enter into a real world relationship with another human being, there would be a sense of shame if you were to just pick up and leave and never talk to that person again. But as soon as you make
that what people do?
But the second you make it transactional, right? There is no shame on a person who wants to either speak ill of you, never talk to you again. So I do think that there's actually a really, really good discussion to be had about what the damage to society is when you commodify the human body, and not just your human body visually, but your soul as
your
some might think, your
personality as well.
There's a good discussion to be had about that.
The ironic part, this woman admitted that she uses AI for her direct messages on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, that's
her
happens a lot.
responses to her simps on OnlyFans are generated by a robot.
Yeah.
So she's not only commoditizing her body, but also her personality. And she's whining about the fact that she's not considered a whole person.
Well, listen, I think that sort of seals the deal, and she has nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
Obviously. And she's like being so intellectually dishonest here. It's not something that should be a reality of just being a human existing and making a product that people want.
But her product
The
is her
product
body.
being me.
Right. She is the
Here's
product.
the other problem of this is that she wins either way because she has turned this into infinitely more money than she would have had before. This is, again, a transactional relationship. The people who are dunking on her get all the social clout that they make. Oh, look at this. I did this to this woman. Aren't I so clever? And then she posts right back. And what did you say the percentage increase was?
Yeah,
500% increase in her
she said that
subscriptions?
she got the last laugh because her OnlyFans page got a 594% increase in revenue just in that last day alone,
Just like
and
the
she got a
girls
ton of followers.
On whatever, I
Yes.
feel like they get a big boost from that audience.
Everybody thinks
Yeah,
they're
or
the
else
one
why
winning.
would they go
in
on
these-
there to just be judged like that?
Everyone in these situations thinks they're the one winning, but in the reality of it is everybody comes out getting what they want. It's symbiotic.
She's going to now be like, I want to do
symbiotic.
Ooh.
That was amazing.
That was really good.
I like that.
She could do like reverse, like porn, trad porn. Be like, you could dress me, and all those weird guys.
Well, no, that's literally what
that
she's
would-
doing. She's
yeah.
capitalizing off of this. She tweeted just today, since the internet seems so determined to police my attire, Should I do a live about it? $50 donation, I put something on. $100, I take something off. Half the proceeds are going to Dress for Success, a program providing professional clothing to women in need seeking employment.
There we go.
She wins.
She'll be on Good Morning America tomorrow.
Yep. She's a hoe, but she's a smart hoe.
Yeah, it's clever.
Yes, her and Bianca Censore can go start their own club together. Smart hoes.
Never said that she was stupid. I'm just saying she's a hoe and she shouldn't be a hoe.
I'm surprised Dignify hasn't done that to Bianca.
Actually, that would be a good idea.
That should be next.
I'm sure they're taking submissions, right?
I'm staying away from all that.
Yeah,
I just thought the image that they chose to do this to was hilarious because it just wasn't really an offensive image to me in any way.
Yeah, I didn't have an issue with that one either. But the other ones, there was like a whole selection, and there was a girl with like a massive tattoo on her face. She looked better without that for sure. There was a lady who wears that trendy, the cutout dresses with like random cutouts everywhere. I don't think that those are very nice dresses, and I appreciated seeing her in a dress. Yeah, it'd be like, cut out here and then over here.
So it's not a dress.
It's like just cutouts. It looks like those monokinis, those.
I don't know what that is.
I do know what that is. Well, a lot of them legitimately look better in the after photos when they're not, giving them extra.
I saw the one where like the lady had a baby in her hand afterwards.
That was cute too.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's very nice. Yeah,
it did look better.
Yeah, this could be your future.
Let's go super chats.
DCNC said, Mary, could you take Miss Brendani in a bar fight? I don't want to fight her. I'm sure, if she attacked me, I would have to defend myself. And I guess it would just come down to, like, who's crazier. DCNC said, could the winner take Kaufman for the intergender belt?
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, he used to wrestle women. That was
That's still a thing. They still do intergender
Nice.
wrestling is still a thing. That's like awesome. It's still funny. You'll see like compilations where there's these old videos of Jeff Jarrett hitting women in the head with guitars.
That doesn't sound funny.
Or when it was a very big
doesn't
thing.
Sound good for the lady or the guitar.
There was a female wrestler named Mae Young who was wrestling right up until like she would do segments where she would get power bombed through tables.
The old lady.
Yes. In her 80s.
I remember that.
In her 80s.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's dangerous.
I wouldn't do
That was the
I'd
heyday.
be scared for my bones.
Like, even though it's just a stunt, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Gal Gadot said journalists didn't need to expose Harvey Weinstein. From what I've heard, he's capable of exposing himself.
Ooh, the chat is on fire.
Nicely done.
They are clever, aren't they? Alphonse said, how big of a dono to get Brett to wear the Marie Canker wig for the entire 100K podcast?
That will not happen.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way it's happening. Shane H. Wilder, random question. Will the 100K episodes start early?
Yes, 1 p.m. We will be starting at 1 and we'll go till 5. So it'll be a 4-hour show on Monday. Unless, of course, YouTube decides to just randomly start suppressing us and we sit at 99.9 all weekend.
Yeah, I know BG Cumby has been at 99K for literally years now.
Wow.
So we gotta get there, guys.
Black Rain Love said, Brett, how much to get you to watch Farscape? I'll watch it with you. Love that old sci-fi show. Only 4 seasons and a TV movie. I'll hold your hand.
I have watched the pilot.
I have also watched the pilot.
It's one of those shows. It's kind of like Supernatural was for me.
I just haven't got.
I kept trying to watch it.
Me too.
And I just can't get myself. Again, I'm not a huge space opera sci-fi.
I love it, and I still couldn't get into it.
It's got Benjamin. It's Browder, right? So like, I'll try again at some point. It's on Peacock. I'll try.
I'm sorry if we missed this $20 super chat earlier. Bender the Offender said, I have heard the argument that if a woman falsely accuses a man, that she would get the sentence the man would have gotten if the accusations were proven true.
That would be good if there was a way to prove any of it.
The problem is that's not how the justice system works. When you don't prove someone's guilt, that doesn't prove their innocence either.
Yep.
And it doesn't prove.
I mean, unless it's like a specific.
Either.
If there was like a specific incident, they did this at this time and this date, and there's like video
if there's no evidence, there's no evidence.
No, I'm saying, but then there's like security
but that would be
footage of that
perjury
person.
anyway. That's already illegal.
Women used to be able to take men to court for the crime of seduction.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's still on the books in some states.
It happens
but
to me all the time.
Right? The crime of seduction
Guilty
is where,
as
like,
charged.
Guilty as charged.
basically,
The fines I've had to pay, I tell you.
but like it would be where the man promises marriage in order to
Wow.
gain certain favors from the lady.
Yeah.
And then the lady would like give it up, and then the guy would be like, "Sorry, babe," and then
That's
she
exactly
would
what I
take him
say.
to,
Do you have a recording of me? That's exactly what I say. Sorry, babe.
Sorry, babe.
Sorry, babe.
That would
Sorry,
be-
sweetheart.
Toots.
Such a great.
Sorry, Toots.
That needs to be a reality show, like, but it based in like the 30s or 40s.
Right. It would be really clever.
A real reality show, but based in the 30s
Yeah,
or 40s.
That would be
Exactly.
That would
Wow.
be. That's such a stellar
Can we-
concept for a
can we
TV
get
show.
that? Oh.
There's so many good ideas.
Okay, we got to talk to Donald Trump because he has the Tesla technology that his uncle got, when Tesla died. So it seems pretty easy.
We just go back in
We got
time and
this.
do it.
Yeah, just
Keep going.
go back.
Okay, Black Rain Love said Ben Dunn, the creator of Warrior Nun, is in talks to have a few of his other comics made into shows. He's also working to make his indie comic publishing company step up and do better than DC or Marvel.
Well, he's going to have to do better than Warrior Nun on Netflix.
But they brought that back, right?
Yeah, but still, does anybody know anybody?
Did it get canceled again?
Does anybody know anyone that's actually like homies with somebody that watched Warrior Nun?
It was just
I
a
would say
bunch
that
of
most
lesbians
people-
on Stan Twitter. Shane H.
It's like,
Wilder
it's like when
said-
they ruined Why the Last Man.
Shane H. Wilder said conspiracies and cults. Cashman must be in town.
I saw when I was looking up the pronunciation of Nexium, there was a channel called Coffee and Cults, and I was just like, the absolute state of the internet.
Yeah.
Like
That's a niche that needs to be filled.
It's just like somebody's like, now it's like makeup and cults. It's the women, the psychopathic.
Well, it's
women
makeup
that
and
pull-
true crime.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pat the plumber said, "I'm fly like arrow, get high like planes."
Okay, so I was
Yep.
telling people, so my friends, long before Rick Rolling was a thing, me and my friends would send each other links, that video disguised as other things.
The
So
M.I.A., the paper
M.I.A.
planes?
song. So like, I was like, oh, dude, did you see this? It was like, oh, so-and-so
Right.
said this, and then it would just be that video, because there was a time where every skate video for about 2 years had that song in there somewhere.
Oh,
and
nice.
everybody hated the song so much.
It's a good
Just-
song,
I like that
though.
song.
But you
It's
can't.
good.
You can only listen to it so many times
No,
before
I'll do it on repeat.
I didn't actually like
The
that
cash
song all that
register
much.
song, like
I didn't like the
sample,
song that
the
much,
gun.
but-
Bad
So-
Girls was really good.
Oh,
that was
she's
a
got
good-
so many good
So
songs.
me and my friends would torture each other by sending each other that song.
I love that.
It makes me want to watch Superbad, for sure.
Oh yeah, super bad with McLovin.
Cole said, "How many crisis parties to force Tim to do PCC?" Well, he was on PCC one time.
500.
On
Recently,
episode 500.
right?
He
So,
like wandered in here. He's
yeah. We could have him on
like, I
again.
heard there's something that goes on up here during the day.
Yeah.
What is
I forget that this was IRL.
Yes.
Right. The first IRL I did was in this room.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right in this chair.
Really? I
Yeah.
was over there.
That's awesome.
I was nervous.
Oh my goodness, I was so nervous.
I was a little terrified
Yep.
also.
How different does it look now?
A little different. There's cash everywhere. There's neon lights. You've got stuffed
There's teddy
animals back
bears.
here.
I also
the
I've
teddy
been
We
bears.
colonized
You got
this
it.
space.
what I've been telling people is like what I want to make an ad for this show where it's getting all the people who have done both, because people come up like, oh, this is so much more fun. I want to get testimonials from everybody who likes our show more, and it's just gonna be called PCC, better than IRL.
Shane H. Wilder
That's
said the hobo bag on a stick is called a bindle.
A bindle, yes.
Yes, you will
Thank
need a
you.
There's
bindle.
also
I will
drug
need a bindle.
bindles, but I digress.
These bitches want Nike, said
There's
M.I.A.
also
on
bundles.
PCC, TBH.
Oh.
That was a lot of acronyms. We should have her on PCC. I would love that.
Well, she can't get a visa.
You can't get in the country.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's not
Maybe
really
you could
possible
get her
right
an
now.
H-1B visa.
Yeah.
You know?
DC&C said Brandani on PCC. Nah.
I'll have you on here.
Nah.
Brandani.
don't want to put any promotion on an OnlyFans page, to be honest.
When Mary's out of town, just hit me up. We'll have her on.
Yeah. On PCC.
Exactly.
Sorenko Productions said M.I.A. about to be M.I.A.'d by Hillary.
Gotta be
Let's
Let's
careful.
not put that out into the
Gotta
ether.
be
Yeah.
careful with that.
Hiroshima Otaru said Mary is gonna shove the goggle goons into lockers. Is that what we're calling them now?
Goggle goons.
Is
That's
that the
pretty
slur?
good.
Shane H. Wilder said to anyone spending $3,500 on Apple Vision, it's not the flex you think it is. Honestly, as someone who wears actual glasses to see, I'm offended. LMFAO.
I also one
Yeah,
of my
how would
biggest.
you would wear glasses and the goggles at the same
They'll
time?
just
Can they
can't. You
fit?
just have to have contacts.
They fit?
I do think that maybe as somebody who wears glasses, people who wear fake glasses are the most offensive thing I've ever seen. I was like, people should start wearing fake hearing aids, like fashion hearing aids.
That should be good for the victim status world we're in. Oh, you're deaf.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Cut me in line.
It's rough.
Yeah.
DCNC said there's never been anything special or groundbreaking with an Apple product ever. Someone else was always first. What Apple has is good marketing.
Well, when you have good marketing, you have good products.
Well, what came before
nature.
Apple Vision Pro? I don't think
Google,
anyone did it at the same
Google
level.
Glass, not the same level, no. But they're saying it's like the whole reason that you want an Apple phone. Most people, have you ever seen those viral videos where it's like they ask women, they're like, he's a 10, but he has an Android, and all the women are like, he's like a 0, he's like a -10. They're so cheap. And then like the guys over here with like an S24 Ultra, which costs like $2,000 or something, or the new like the foldable phones and stuff like that, which are all ridiculously
Galaxy Fold.
expensive. And not to mention, most people, I do think the lamest thing you can be is like loyal to a phone company. You're just literally just financial
There's no
cattle.
reason to be
It's
loyal
dorky.
to a phone company.
Well, I get
What about the
iPhones because I'm a
Valve
girl.
headset? Is that what girls do? Because I have an iPhone.
The interface is just girl friendly, in my opinion.
It is kind of. I like the the fancy cases.
Yeah.
I still, however, do maintain that the number one green flag for a woman is to have a not new phone, like
Or
have
a cracked screen.
a cracked screen, or the not newest phone. It means that she's not
Wait.
vapid.
Mine
What's
is
yours?
broken.
Is it? There you go. It's a green flag.
Green flag.
I broke it
Green flag.
recently. I dropped it. The back is broken, not the front, but it's a 14.
They're on the 15 now. You're good. You're good.
Okay.
When they have the,
The only reason I got an iPhone in 2008 was because I really wanted the T-Pain Auto-Tune app.
It didn't work that well.
And I used it a lot. I made songs with it. I
did
love
it
that
work?
app. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
Vendor the Offender said one step closer to living in a pod and eating the bug juice.
That's right.
Yep. Shane H. Wilder said, I nearly got sideswiped by a self-driving car that had to stop quick, and the AI
damn.
didn't know what to do, so it tried to swerve into me.
Yikes.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they train it to do, right? Protect the driver.
Yeah. I'm going to turn cancel culture against AI.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
I think that's what we need to do.
I say let's do it.
I'm so sick of
totally
it.
on board with
It's
that.
disgusting.
I hate AI.
I hate AI. I hate AI art. I hate AI
You know what else
cars.
I hate? I hate too how writing, people use AI for writing.
Yeah, I've heard.
But AI
Ridiculous.
draws just from whatever else is on the internet.
Yes.
So it just becomes it's just this endless
We wrote those
regurgitation
articles. Yes.
loop.
Exactly.
But AI is never going to be able to
I know.
find something new.
Yep.
So we're just going to be stuck forever in a perpetual void.
It's the AI human centipede.
It's gross.
It's
yes,
disgusting.
the AI
It
human
must stop.
centipede.
It's
I
gotta
agree
stop.
with you.
Yeah, the art does nothing for me.
Pat the Plumber said, I'm just going to assume anyone wearing those is working on hacking them to watch porn. Yeah. I'm sure you can access
think
Twitch,
that's
which is
all it
basically
would
the
be,
same
right?
thing. So, yeah, if you can watch women in hot tubs sucking on microphones on Twitch on the headset, I think you're good.
Someone was telling me that there's that like companies are developing sex toys to go with the VR headsets.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I mean, sex dolls are like AI operable and stuff. And once you
Yeah.
get Neuralink and a sex doll and the whole thing,
Yep.
then you just
Neuralink is so clearly evil.
Thank
it's very
you.
He is
it's
not
very
to be
evil.
trusted.
No.
For sure.
That's right. Yeah, we've come a long way from Lars and the Real Girl. Remember that?
Oh, I tried to watch that the other day and it was so boring.
I love that movie. That's because you're like 30 years younger than me.
I guess.
I love
Let's
that
get through
movie.
more of these because we got to get going.
Okay, I know you're worried. Gal Gadot said, yeah, so how long before the digital girlfriend thing like Digi is ported into your VR glasses so you can take her for a walk on a beach?
Yo, probably pretty
Well,
soon.
she's not going to leave footprints. Yeah. It's
just
kind of
don't
creepy.
fall
We're
in
here
the
already.
water, you know.
It's her. The movie Her was predictive programming.
Yeah. But that was just a voice.
Right.
yeah,
just a
so-
voice. Now we got the whole thing.
Black
Well,
Rain Love.
they've had like AI sex dolls for a while. They have like sex doll brothels
We were just talking about that.
in Montreal
brothels.
and like in Spain and stuff.
Wow. They still give you STDs, I hear.
Well, yeah. I mean, you gotta disinfect
Lysol.
that
You got to
stuff.
Lysol the.
Disinfect it.
Ew. Black Rain Love said, if I made a sketch of y'all, Mary and Brett where is the best place to send or post it for you to see it? Mary beating Brett must be drawn. Don't draw that. I don't want to see that.
Messed up.
You can draw us if you want, but I don't want it to be like
Mean.
I would
don't want
just
it to be
tag
me
tag
hurting.
The show. Tag the show. Pop culture _ show.
We'll see it. Terrence Rice said, "Time Keeps on Slippin' is my favorite Deltron track."
Nice.
Maybe I'll go back and re-listen to some of that old stuff.
It is good.
Yeah.
Corey Anderson said, "When it comes to rap, I like Spose, Cam Groves, NF, and Token."
NF is really good. NF is really good. Christian, I
Robert
believe.
Cochran said, "Super Bowl poll."
Who's gonna win the Super Bowl?
Probably should have done that.
Yeah.
Biden as the third option.
Yep.
Corey Anderson said, "Porn bad, being naked okay." Yeah, just be naked in private and don't show people. Otis Crinkle said, "Usually I'm driving while listening. Didn't get a chance to weigh in on Ice Spice's new song. I think she's doing great for a person with Down syndrome." Hit the subscribe button, you Philistines.
Exactly.
Yeah, gotta love that Down syndrome representation in media. Corey Anderson said, "Ladies, I'm here to colonize your heart."
Aw, well, that's just the sweetest thing I've heard all day.
That is very sweet.
Hey, isn't this guy married? Pat the Plumber said, "Are we getting the Left Lane is for Crime bumper stickers or what?"
I do want to make those.
We should not risk
Yes.
our shop getting taken down. This just sounds like an easy way to get banned. DCNC said, "Subscriber count check." Where are we at?
90. I can't check the full amount. I can just see that we're at 99.9. I can't get into the official thing because my tab is open for the show.
Okay, well, we're watching, guys. If you're not subscribed, you need to change that.
So close, guys.
Tacti
Share
Platty.
the link now.
Guests, thoughts or comments about the Joker vid?
That's
How
a
did
real
you feel
movie.
about
The
that?
Joker vid made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There you
Like,
go.
I really didn't like it. I hope it doesn't happen again.
Well, the movie is coming out, so.
Yes.
And I hope that doesn't ever make it into my eyes.
Mandy Summers said, "I want to hear more about Mocha the cat."
There will be no talk of the derpy cat on this show, Mandy, but we do want to have you on this show very, very soon. So we're going to be reaching out to you and Shane.
DCNC said those dolls will only get traction when Apple brings out the iDoll.
Ew.
Also, Mandy, I will be on board for Ballers, not this week, but next week. But yes, iDoll, no thank you.
Shane H. Wilder, "AI art is not art. You just told it what to do. It takes time and love to produce memes, and AI has none of that."
100%.
Yep.
Memes are art, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, memes can be art.
I don't think AI can produce funny memes.
Yet.
Corey Anderson, "Yes, I am. It is a joke."
Oh, okay. Go. We are almost at the 10th crisis party, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go,
Wow.
Fresh Meat said, "Barry, keep slapping Brett. He deserves it."
it's just rude.
I never slapped him.
It's just rude.
I never hit him. Pat the Plumber
did not.
said, "Taylor Swift already won the Super Bowl." True.
Pretty much.
She's going to be making more money off of it than anyone. I'm not up to date on
Okay,
these.
so Soranko Productions says hostage party. Sorry, Brett. Look, I will just turn this podcast around and go home. You cannot-
Wait, you
cannot
missed-
make me.
you
I know,
missed
I'm
some.
going back up. It says, and Shane H. Wilder says, "Have a great weekend, all, and safe travels, Brett." Pat the Plumber already said yes. Taylor Swift has already won the Super Bowl. Ditto Gonzalez since $10 with no message. Steve Kralik says, "Golly, you two are attractive, smart, funny, and sexy." Oh look, Mary and Libby are here too. Thanks for the
Aw, that's
escape
really
from
cute.
nonstop politics. Come on, 100K. Let's go. Sell bumper stickers under the Clips channel. Oh, so create a separate shop for like.
Stop trying to make the Clips channel happen. Stop trying to make the crime bumper stickers happen.
Gordon Shumway says it's good that the VR girlfriend doesn't leave footprints. That way she cannot get jealous thinking you were with another girl and yell at you. It's bound to happen if they make them realistic. Yes. Also, will they have their period? That's the real question. Gal Gadot says, "I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information animal, vegetable, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I can quote the fights historical from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical."
That's from HMS Pinafore, isn't it?
I don't
And
know.
I had to read that
Yeah.
all while scrolling here. And Gal Gadot says, "Oh look, 5 o'clock. Let the games begin." I'm sorry, my friend, but the super chats are done. Before we go, guys, would you hit the like button in this video? And again, would you subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here already? Help us get to 100,000 subscribers today, so that on Monday we can have our 100,000 subscriber episode, which will be at 1 p.m., not at 3 p.m. So be sure to tune in for that. It'll be a 4-hour show. Shane, my friend, thank you And welcome
so
back.
much fun. You guys.
See, more fun than IRL. Another testimonial right there.
A blast. Thank you for having me, guys. It was Libby. Always a pleasure.
Thanks. Pleasure.
Yeah. Let everyone know where they can find you.
Oh, I'm at Shane Cashman everywhere. You can find my books online. I have a new book coming out in April.
Nice.
And that's going to be fun. It's called The Year of the Pariah. And that's going to be interesting. So watch out for that.
All right. Libby.
Libby Emmons. You can find me on Twitter at Libby Emmons. And check out what we're doing at thepostmillennial.com.
Perfect. Mary.
You can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
There's a couple more there if you want to read them real quick.
Okay, Gordon Shumway. Will 10 super chats give Barfight Mary?
You're going to get Barfight Mary on Monday. We just got to find the video.
Well, I actually have the video now.
Well, we're watching on Monday. We'll
watch it on Monday,
Yeah.
so stay tuned for that. DC&C said... one was a racehorse, 2 was 1-2, 1 race, and 2-2-1-1-2.
Perfect.
Okay,
Let everyone know where they can find you.
I just did.
Okay. All right, guys. Did you?
Yes.
Did you?
Yes,
Oh,
she
I'm
did.
losing my
She
mind.
did.
All right, guys. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twix at Brett Dasovic on both those platforms. PCC is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you prefer to listen rather than watch. And if you want to follow the show on social media, Twix at popculture_show, Facebook and not TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we'll be back with a 100,000 subscriber episode on Monday. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Peace.